first topic I want to talk about really quick before we get into some other things is that I don't like bitch ass niggas. And the reason why I want to start off with that is because
game is about helping us learn the rules of manhood. And a lot of times what happens is we don't fully believe in the rules. We don't fully believe in the information.
You cannot fear rejection.
We got to stand on business out there, meaning that the bitches ain't gonna even fuck with me if they don't think that I'm willing to go the distance behind some shit.
everybody in this room, if you had a bitch ass moment, raise your hand.
When I say I am, I want you to say a motherfucking man. I am a motherfucking man.
Like I said, y'all should have bitches. I'm amazed. It's a struggle for some of y'all.
Once you find something that you're into, it comes before everything else. And then even when you deal with a woman who's into you, she has to compete with that thing, whatever the fuck that is, right?
Stand up if you believe in fear. Stand up right now. Everybody stand the fuck up.
You know, I say bitch a lot and nigga a lot, but, you know, it's with good intention and a lot of love in it and whatnot.
If I'm feeling insecure, is this really me, or did somebody teach me how to feel this way?
I am a motherfucking man. You know?
We are back after a long hiatus.
after a brief vacation. Well, they won't want vacation, but you know. So what's up, man? How y'all been?
Man, I've been good. And you know what? I want to thank you because the timing worked out perfectly because I wasn't going to be on Saturday's show if there was a show because I had some family business to take care of. So that worked out perfect for me too, man.
It worked out. See, look.
Everything happens for a reason. You see?
Still happened to motherfuckers that got game. No, I'm just
exactly. You see what I'm saying? Nice.
That's what's up. So before I get into this, y'all got anything y'all want to plug right quick?
As always, make sure y'all get the soap, man. Make sure y'all get the soap. Hit that barcode right there. If y'all could make that out, it should be bright as fuck, man. God damn. Let me see if I can. Yeah, look, is that a little bit better? Yeah, hit that barcode, man. Hit that barcode and order your soap, masculine identity, natural soap. And when I get the new boxes, I'm gonna put the TM right there. I'm gonna put the TM because that shit is trademark. Masculine identity is trademarked, guys. So yes, sir. Let's get it.
And about his business. So real quick, for those of you who are watching, you might notice there's some PayPal links and some Cash App links right above where me and Coach Justin's head is at, right? So,
that's what I wanted to talk to you about, Zag.
Well, real quick, and if you feel so inclined, by all means, donate, you know, whatever you wish. What's up, Jay Roman?
I think Renee P. She has my cash, my PayPal. You got the wrong one up there.
The wrong one?
Yeah. I meant to talk to you about that the other day, but sorry, I got to do it in the show.
Put it in the private chat real quick.
Yeah, I'll put it in the private chat, and then I know Renee P has it too, and she's putting it on there, the real one there for me. So anyway, since you mentioned it,
all right. So okay, hold on real quick. Let me get back to what I was doing. I lost my way. All right, so real quick, title of the joint is basically like two titles in one. Why you should never make concessions when dating. Everything you do in this game has a consequence. And I want guys to understand when I say everything you do in this game has a consequence. Now, a lot of you hear shit like everything is about pros and cons, right? But when you are dealing with damn near anything in life, but specifically dealing with women, dating dynamics, things of that nature, you have to be cognizant and mindful of how you are proceeding or what you are saying and or doing when it comes to these women. So I'm going to show you a clip in just a moment. And I want the audience, I want you guys to pay attention to what's being said. Pay close attention to what's being said. Now, also, I want you guys to think before we get into it and break it down, what you're hearing and how what you're hearing can come back to actually be a detriment to this guy. And he don't see nothing wrong with it. And I'm gonna tell you right now, 90% of you guys watching, y'all think just like him. You might not think you do, but you do. So before we get into this, y'all got anything y'all want to add?
Well, I just want to plug my my new site. It's up and running. It's thedominancecademy.com, and yeah, it's all been written up and formulated. So I had to streamline some things. So now there's 3 tiers instead of 5. And it's been doing really well. It's been received really well. And yeah, so if anyone's want to check out that sort of thing, if you're a traditionally minded guy and you believe in just strict, clear-cut dynamics between a man and a woman, go check that out. And if you have any questions on it, just email me at thedominancecademy@gmail.com.
All right. So let me just say this. Y'all got to bear with me, man. I'm a little sick. So there might be times where you might hear me fucking, hacking up a lung and shit. So just be prepared. But let's go ahead and get into this shit. Let me bring this in now. Go ahead and play this shit.
What's the most you're willing to spend on a first date? Not a lot. I don't know, man. Like $40, $50. It's very different with my girlfriend, right? But like with a new girl that I'm meeting up with, my plan A is to invite her straight to my place for a bottle of wine. If she's not comfortable coming over, I'll suggest let's go for a walk with my adorable husky while he supervises us, and then we can go back up to have a drink if you feel more comfortable. If she says no to that, I'll offer to meet her at like a dive bar nearby. But if she's like, oh, I want to go somewhere fancier, I'll just walk away. I just have no patience for that.
Now, being that your relationship is open on your side, do you also tell the new woman that you're seeing that you have a girlfriend?
If she directly asks me, then yes. But I won't go out of my way to tell her that I have a girlfriend, at least not on the first date. But if she asks me, I won't lie. The issue a lot of guys get into isn't the fact that, for example, they're fucking other girls. It's the fact that the girl feels like she's been kind of tricked or something like that, because the guy came up as very traditional, very conservative. And then suddenly he's like, oh, actually, I'm fucking 3 other girls.
What's the most you're willing to spend on a first date?
Not a lot.
Oh, okay. Let me jump out of this. So,
yeah, that's the play with fire guy. You guys know who that is? The white guy that's playing with fire.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm not familiar with him. So this is what I will say. I'm gonna go back to what he said in the beginning. And I forgot that end part. I forgot that part was there, to be honest with you. But in the beginning, he said his plan A is to invite a woman up to his spot for a bottle of wine.
Mm-hmm.
Then he said if she doesn't want to do that, then he'll invite her for a walk to kind of build rapport, get her more comfortable. Then he said, if she turns that down, then I'll go ahead and take her out. And my thing to you guys, look at the title. Why you should never make concessions when dating.
Mm-hmm.
Your plan A is your only fucking plan. It should be your only plan. If you are the type of guy where you invite women to your crib for a bottle of wine and she declines that, or she tries to suggest you do something else, your interaction with that woman is done. It's over.
Right.
Period. You should never switch up, make concessions, make accommodations, acquiesce, or do anything. And the reason why, see, and a lot of you guys listening, you won't see the issue with that because your mind is, or your mindset is, well, as long as I get the pussy, that's all that matters. Here's the thing, though. Once a woman realizes that you are acquiescing for her, that you are doing things to pacify her, she's going to know that she's in a lead position. And she knows why she's in a lead position, because she has a vagina and you want to fuck. And that's why you're doing the things that you're doing. So once a woman realizes that she has leverage in a situation simply because she has a vagina that you want access to, number one, in many cases, she won't respect you, okay, even if it's a subconscious thing. But also, she's going to know if she ever gets into a relationship with you, the moment she's not happy about something, all she got to do is tell you, I'm not feeling that. I need more of this. I need you to be more romantic. I need more trips. Because she already knows you're controlled by pussy. Y'all got it.
Yep. Yeah, I was going to say that, I'm familiar with that guy's content, and he is quite, I guess, successful, you'd say, when it comes to sleeping with a lot of women. The dude gets around, all right? And there's this old phrase that says, a fool who persists in his folly will become wise. So if you keep doing the same shit over and over, you will become a master of that thing. But it doesn't necessarily mean it's the right thing to do. It's just after a while, you do something enough, it'll start working for you. And that's kind of what he's done. But the problem is, like what you said, Zagan, but is that he's making pussy the goal. And so it's like he's switching up, changing directions, and being flexible and adaptive to the woman just to get what he wants. And like you said, it's like that's just her leading. And it's not even her leading. He's actually putting her, without her consent or desire, into a position of leadership. And she's not even asking for it. He's like, here, you tell me what to do. And she's like, okay, I want to do this. I want to do this. And then after a while, it just sets that kind of tone. And his only means of maintaining control is by just not taking things further down the road. He's got like a short time window with these women because he's dating lots of girls. So that's the only means of control he has. And then, if like the level of his game, maybe they want to spend more time with him, but it's still going to be based around like what they want to do because he wants access to their bodies so much.
I'll say, what I know of a lot of these guys is they do what works, not necessarily what works for them, but they do what works. And so a lot of, I think the consequence of a lot of this is that ultimately you are bringing in a lot of quantity at the cost of quality, right? But at the same time, look, every man is different. Every man is different. It's going to take every man a certain amount of time in life to figure out what he truly wants. Because you got some guys who really just want quantity. Like they really have no fucking designs on even, having a woman there for a substantial role in their life. They literally just want to bring them in, fuck them, and kick them out. Like that's literally what they want to do. And if that's your lifestyle, I don't see anything wrong with it, because I look at his technique and the fact that he has tiers and levels where he's like, okay, if you're highly interested, then that means you're going to want to come straight back to the crib for the bottle of wine. Okay, if you still need a little bit of coaxing, then I'll take you for the walk. But still, for me personally, there still has to be a limiting standard where it's like, I'm not feeding you though. I'm just not. Like we could do the first tier and the second tier, but I gotta stop it somewhere, bitch. Cause it's like, I'm not breaking myself or breaking my standard in my code to get you to fuck me and all that other shit. But again, for some guys, they're not thinking about it like that. They're not thinking about the self-perception. They're not thinking about standard. They're not thinking about anything. They're just thinking, what can I do within these three options to get this bitch to fuck me? That's all they're thinking. And if that's where you're at, then that's okay. I just hope that at some point dudes will really get into their identity, be honest with themselves, and do things for a purposeful reason, not just because you're pedestalizing or you're putting pussy on a pedestal. You know what I'm saying?
To me, Miles, you hit it right there on the nail. But a person has to really know themselves on what they want.
Right.
And that's the thing that we deal with. A lot of people that really don't know themselves pretend they want one thing. They pretend they want a girlfriend, and really that's not what they really want. They pretend they want to have 3 in rotation, but not only can they not handle it, it's not really what they want.
Exactly.
So, with this person here, if this is his thing and this is what he wants, just the body count, then cool. He's found a way to successfully get it. But one thing I've learned, one of my coaches said, never mistake results for execution.
Right.
So, you may fumble the ball forward and get it picked up and run, and now you got a touchdown, but really it was a sloppy play. However, you got the touchdown. So a lot of times there's guys that are successful in getting the woman for the night or whatever, but if that's not what they really want, then they have to really determine what they want and how successfully they can do that. And I think that that's the difference when you make it all about the woman, because now as soon as that is obtained, you say, see, I'm successful. I'm successful. However, I don't have any long terms, or they're not around very long. And sooner or later, they're, looking at me like, what are we? But, I successfully got that. And that's the thing. We're not, I'm a firm believer, man. Women are gettable. That's not the case. What do you do to get them though? That really matters.
Exactly. And I'll just say one more thing real quick too. A woman knows. Because see, the thing is that it's one thing if he had a way of like running the gambit in his mind without her awareness. Right. But it's another thing when you're standing there talking to her and you're like, hey, so why don't you come back to my crib for a bottle of wine? And she's like, no, I don't really think so. And he's like, well, if you don't want to do that, then maybe we could do that. And that's the part that gets me, because it's like, me personally, I would rather know enough game where I could tell by the way the conversation is going which option is the best to offer her than to go through the tiers. Because once you go through the tiers, she already sees, oh, so you're just like throwing shit at the wall trying to get in my pants because you're desperate to get in my pants. You're not, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not really authentic in what you're offering me. You get what I'm saying? And that's the part that kind of kills shit for me. But the phone lines are open, guys. 919-647-9392.
See, and that's my thing, right? Because I believe that how you date in the beginning is a small sample size of how you ultimately really are, right? So what I mean by that is, if you make concessions in the beginning for a woman you barely know, what are you willing to do for a woman that you love and don't want to lose? How much of yourself are you willing to compromise?
Right.
So if you will sell your soul for pussy, you'll sell it for what you believe love is. What you believe going on is love. This is what I'm saying. At some point, you got to say, here's a line, and I'm gonna set this line for myself, not necessarily for the woman, but for myself, to never cross, even in the very fucking beginning. So that way, if I do happen to have something more substantial with this woman down the line, I've already established boundaries and parameters, not only for myself, but for her. So I got to police myself to make sure I don't compromise my integrity and dignity. But I also got to police the situation with her so she understands I'm not one of them. I'm not one of them guys that's going to jump through hoops for you, that's going to acquiesce and do things at the behest of you.
Yeah, but K-Zag, it doesn't matter, because once I get the pussy, I've won. And that's all I care about.
But that's exactly how they look at it. A lot of guys look at it that way. They look at it like a victory lap or some shit.
That's the point I was going to make right there.
Yeah, go ahead.
When you're talking, K-Zag, when you first said it, and I was like, see, but their whole thought line is once they get the pussy there, that's it. That's the victory. And then later on, they keep hanging around this girl that seems to be cool, and next thing you know, they are in a relationship that they did not prepare for at all.
No, pussy's not a victory. And you mentioned it, Zach, but because it reminded me of a quote by Pablo Picasso, and he said that the future of every painting is determined by the first stroke. And so if you're like this at the very beginning, like you were, like I was just going to mention the same exact shit, because if you have a mindset for creating concessions, or and then maybe you relabel it as strategy of getting what you want, right? Then it determines that that's probably how you're going to act in the relationship, because your mind is already willing to create various avenues to figure out a way to get what you want. And that is then putting the customer, it's like, oh, you don't want a burger? Well, we got pizza. You don't want pizza? We got wings. You don't want wings? We got ribs. And so they're like, whatever you want. Like, how can we serve you? And so that's really putting the customer in the place of like being in charge and of leadership.
Wait, hold on, Justin. Did you work in fast food?
No.
Okay,
I never worked in fast food.
You seem real fluent with that just now. I'm just all right.
No. I had one stint of working in the restaurant industry. It was a California Tex-Mex place back in college. But yeah, it's so really. And then the thing is, though, is that when you get into relationship, there's tons of shit that comes up with a woman. Okay, and namely her emotions. Right, her emotions are constantly going up and down, in and out. They're always flowing and amorphous. Right. And if you're making concessions to her desires and her preferences and her emotions are almost always intertwined. Like, we can separate shit. We can be like, okay, our emotions are over here, my preferences are over here, my desires are over here, and I can interlink them if I want to, but I don't necessarily have to. I can keep them in separate boxes. And a lot of times women can't really do that. You know what I'm saying? So when you're dealing with them, if you're looking at that stuff and considering it as how it can affect your program, then your program is become affected by that and start losing its structural integrity. And so you can't really include those things. I would say acknowledge those emotions, but if you include that as a factor in which how you use your program, then it's going to start, weakening the walls of it. And then it's going to just start crumbling, like having like water damage in a home. And then before you know it, there's no integrity whatsoever. And you're like, okay, well, whatever you want to do. And then they go up and down, in and out. And then you're just chasing around those preferences, desires, and feelings.
Facts.
And it goes nowhere.
Yep.
There we go. Real quick, the call-in line is open. 919-647-9392. If you have a question, put a Q in the chat. We got you.
No, Dave G, just real quick. I'm not a high-value man. I'm just a man.
Y'all kill me with that bullshit. J. Roman, I got you. I'm going to update the shit.
All right.
Unique 79, what are you saying, bro? Let's pop that up real quick. So he's saying salute to the panel and to the fire knowledge being shared. Get the likes up, everyone, and subscribe. So many guys sell themselves for pussy instead of standing on their principles. Sad state of affairs. Well, I question whether or not the average guy even has standards. Because in order to compromise something, it has to already exist. So do a lot of guys even have standards, dignity, or integrity?
I don't know. Look, I'll say this too, man. I like the pussy that the first offer I give is accepted. That's the pussy I like. The pussy where I gotta be like, well, if you don't want to do that, we could do this. That's not as good to me. You understand what I'm saying? And at the same time, it's like the only concession that I'm going to make is, hey, listen, if you change your mind, you have my info. Do you understand? That's the only concession I'll make. And even with that, if she calls me back later, I'm going to still be on some shit like, but you wasn't with it the first time, though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still going to be like, oh, like, I still have to if she does hit me back, I still got to make a decision. Like, do I have time for this? Was she my type? Do I think it's ultimately worth it? Because look, there's a difference between non-interest or low interest and I'm just not sure tonight, or you get what I'm saying? So I would have to still think back to the interaction. Like, was it low interest and now she just coming back because she probably couldn't find a better option? Or was it she just wasn't sure that night, or maybe she was on the rag or whatever the fuck it was? You understand what I'm saying? So you still, as a man like me, I'm still going to check the interaction and sniff out the quality, bro. Because I just at this point. At this point, the way I run my life and the quality that I bring and the quality that the quality lifestyle that I've created, the dick can't go to everybody, bro. It just can't. I'm so serious.
Well, once you actually have standards, the dating pool is going to shrink. By default, but it's supposed to shrink.
And it's supposed to. Facts.
The cream of the crop rises to the top. It's supposed to shrink. But the problem is, guys want to have this vast dating pool where they can service any bitch. Like, hey, anybody can have this dick. No. Like, even time, for instance, I've been out at a lounge, bar, club, whatever, and a young lady and I were talking, and I felt that the conversation was going in a very sexual direction. So I made the move to take the shorty home, and she wasn't necessarily leaving with me that evening, but she wasn't opposed to getting together another day for the shit we was talking about. It just wasn't going to happen that evening.
Right.
So for me, I don't have to compromise anything. My thing is like, all right, well, hey, it ain't going to work this evening. How about this? How about I give you my phone number, and when you're available to make it happen, hit me up. So I still stay in the confines of my standards. I don't have to go outside of them shits to get the pussy. Because if the chick, if I try to take a chick home and she says, so you're not going to offer a date, my response is going to be like, no, right. I'm not. I already made the offer. You know what I'm saying? Either take it or leave it. But the problem is with guys, they'll be like, and the funny thing is, the more attractive the woman is, the further they're willing to go with the bullshit. Like even the guy in the video, But okay, but if she is more attractive, or don't let her to be one of these celebrity bitches that you want to fuck. You know what I'm saying? What are you willing to do for them, for the level of abuse? You know what I'm saying? And I think at some point, as a man, you have to take away the woman's vagina, you have to take away her body, how she looks in the face, throw all that shit right here and say, this is what I'm doing, and this is all I'm doing. Any chick that's with it, come with me. Any chick that ain't, stay over there. Right. It's got to be that way, man.
Do we got a call?
No, we don't got a call.
Well, Miles, I'd say like if there's that moderate interest that kind of like fades back and then they come back around, you know, I would just offer a blowjob. You know, like they don't get to fuck. You know, they don't get to, no, that's way too much of a privilege at that point. You know, it's like, yeah, you can come through and suck my dick, but you know, you're not gonna get fucked.
Facts.
I'm sitting here cracking up, right? Because I'm listening to you guys.
Yeah.
And I realized something, right? Like, I love talking with other people that have game, right? Because these are the conversations. When let's just say society, right? Those are just obstacles. That's how they view them, right? So for us, it's like, nah, I can tell that you're not really interested. I can tell that, you know, I'm not going to be jumping through all these loops and hoops just to get your attention, just to get you to some sort of success for me, right? Just to get you to come into the house now. You know, because some dudes go a lot just to get her to come to the house. I promise I won't touch you. I just really want to watch a movie. I just really, right? But for them, they're all just obstacles, right? Then there's some people that say, hey, I'm good at getting past obstacles. When she says this, you do this. When she says that, you do that. And they're like, yeah, okay, obstacles. And I got it. It worked for me. And to me, that's a philosophy that's hard for a lot of guys to change, right? Especially for ones that are really successful at getting over obstacles by just giving a little of themselves, right? Now, the guy said something about $40. Like, he doesn't pay any more than $40.
Shout out to Tom Likas.
All right. And I remember when I got to the point where I didn't go on a lot of dates because the dates are expensive, right? They were expensive for me. I was like, you know what? Financially, I can't go on a lot of dates. So if you want to come walk with me in the park, let's do that. All right. And I got there financially. But then I realized, shoot, there's so many girls that was walking with me in the park. Why did I ever even really want to take them out on a date anyway? Like, why did I even start there? Taking them out on a date? And just society, right? Society says, hey, you take a lady out on a date. You take a lady out on a date. Well, I got too many of them walking to my car. I say I'm hungry. They're bringing me food at my job. Like, you know, this whole dating thing just changed. And I think the philosophy that these guys have embedded in their head is so deep. It is hard for them to really understand that if you cut it off at the pass, it's better for you in the long run.
Real shit. I was just talking to my girl about this last night, and we're just sort of like reminiscing about when we first got together. And I had met her on Facebook dating, and invited her out for some cocktails at this, you know, this nice like Italian place in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. I didn't know where she lived, and the woman traveled 2 hours because she lives in like the way south Brooklyn, sort of near Coney Island. So it's like a good 2-hour train ride at night because the trains are slower at night. 2 hours from like the Coney Island area all the way the opposite end of Brooklyn to Williamsburg.
Yeah, crazy.
And I didn't know this. She had traveled 2 hours. I fed her 2 glasses of wine, didn't offer any food, and then walked her to the train, hopped on my motorcycle, and rode home. And she went home, and she was like, damn, this guy didn't even feed me. Like, I'm sitting there on the train, stomach growling, okay? And she still went forward and was like, that annoyed me because she, you know, we talk about this a lot, like how women only know from their previous experiences that's how they know, right? So she, of course, has had plenty of experiences with guys and, you know, being like 43 years old. So she's been around, and a lot of the guys are like, let me do this, like, let me lavish you with an experience to try to coerce you into being with me.
Right.
And I didn't do any of this stuff. And so it was like very contrary to what she had been conditioned by. Yet she was like, I got to know this guy some more. And still followed through with it. And it's like, and then the second time we got together, it was at her place, and I sat her down and I said, listen, I'm not here for sex, but you're getting fucked. And she didn't understand that either, you know. And then of course time went on, and she understood what that meant. It was to set an action in place, but it's not like, oh, I gotta have sex with you. It was to establish it was establish my dominance, really. And that's all it was. I wasn't there for pleasure. You know what I mean? And so it's like, if you guys want to get out of that sort of thinking, get out of like this breakdown of the video that we're talking about, you have to separate yourself from pleasure, from seeking pleasure. It doesn't mean you can't enjoy things, but it's having pleasure as a guide for your decisions and your thinking and your perspectives, because it will fuck everything if you're being driven by sexual pleasure. Because then wherever that comes from, because we can't give it to ourselves, you know, we can't like manifest a pussy, you know what I mean? It's attached to a woman, so we have to go find it and seek it out. And once that happens, it's over for you. You have no more control anymore.
Thanks. I'm glad you said that, and I want to piggyback on what you said just now. Just when you said that you told her she was getting fucked, not necessarily so you can get a nut, so you can just establish your dominance. You know what I'm saying? So, and how I am, and with any woman that knows me intimately, I'm the same way. I'm the dominant one in a relationship, period. And I'm going to establish that early and often. And if you got a problem with that, then you're not for me. We're not compatible. So even with the way that I do things, where this is how we going to do it, I'm not going to offer anything else. I'm not going to acquiesce. It's like that Frank Sinatra song, I did it my way. That's why I say strictly deal with women on your terms. Exactly how shit unfolded. And it was by design, my design, right? I'm the architect of this shit. I want it to be a certain way, and either you're going to relinquish the need to control shit as the woman, right? You're going to relinquish the need to want to control sex and want to control all this other shit, and you're just going to let me lead. Or you're going to put up a resistance, and I'll just leave you the fuck alone. You know what I'm saying? It's that simple, because I ain't got time for it. Because even in the beginning, if you let women control sex, then she's going to feel either consciously or subconsciously that she can always do that to get her way in a relationship. Oh, I'm not happy, I won't let him fuck me. And then when he comes and asks me, I'll tell him why he can't fuck me, and I'll tell him what I need him to do to get back into my draw. Hell no. And I'm saying we're not even playing like that, right? And I don't think guys understand, and it goes back, everything you do in this game has a consequence. This is why in the very beginning, and again, Justin, what you said, dominance. I'm going to come out the gate, and you're going to know I'm the dominant one in the relationship, period. We're not sharing dominance. Okay, and you forgot damn sure I won't be the one that's dominant. And I think a lot of guys, they never look at it that way because they were conditioned to view themselves to be in a way where they're looking up to a woman and they're trying to win her affection. Like the guy in the video, he's trying to win the woman's affection. Well, I prefer, see, his plan A was what he wants to do, regardless of what society says or what the customary thing is to do when you're dating. He says, fuck that. I want to invite a chick up to my crib for wine. But if I have to default to society norms, I'll default to that just to get what I want. And my thing is, fuck society. Society, all these dating norms and dating standards and shit like that, in my opinion, they don't really help men. They teach men to be in a position where they simps and they doing all of this shit for pussy. They put women on a pedestal because a woman is attractive or because they want pussy. And at the end of the day, they'll end up crying and whining because they feel used and abused by women. But all that started because you were never the dominant one in the beginning.
Facts. Okay. Guys, call in 919-647-9392, 919-647-9392. Make sure y'all call in, guys. Don't wait till the last minute. We got any questions?
No, let me see. No, we ain't got no questions.
All right, put a Q in the chat, guys. If you have a question, put a Q in the chat if you have a question, or call in 919-647-9392, 919-647-9392. And Tony Praying Mantis with the $5 super chat, he said, what's up, fam? Why do women love tongue licking her clitoris and licking her nipples is more pleasurable than a guy banging her? Why is it more memorable? Okay.
Bro, first of all, bro.
Memorable.
First of all,
we're getting spelling.
You need Grammarly, but go ahead, Justin.
Yeah. Clitoris is spelled incorrectly, and memorable is not a word. But we get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you can't say that across the board. Okay.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
No. Women have all sorts. Some women have incredibly sensitive nipples. Some women, you can make them have an orgasm just through breast play. Breast play alone.
Yep.
Some women, and actually a lot of women, they can't have an orgasm through intercourse. That's like a large majority of women. And then they can only have an orgasm through clitoral stimulation. And some, they totally come through just having intercourse. So it really depends on the type of woman. It depends on, how you're communicating with her. There's just so many factors. So I think, Tony, what you're talking about might be something specific to the woman that you're dealing with. And but you can't take that one experience and extrapolate women from that. Every woman is a separate experience.
Yes, they are.
And see, this is the reason a lot of people may not realize it, but this is why we may ask you how many women you've been with when you call in. This is exactly why. Because a lot of people might just hear, oh, are you a virgin? How many women have you been with? They probably think initially, oh, why are you trying to ridicule me? Why are you trying to? No. This is exactly why we ask you that, because we need to know your experience range. Now, Tony told you guys all the time, your language exposes you. Tony Praying Mantis, either all of the women, like either Tony got a whole bunch of bodies and every last woman by some type of happenstance, right, has had her only clitoris and nipples sensitive. For whatever reason, that's just the type of women that Tony Praying Mantis attracts. Or Tony Praying Mantis hasn't had a lot of experience at all. And the one chick that he's fucking with, these are the conditions. And now he's asking us this question. Okay, so, and like Mr. Justice said, you cannot use one experience and put that on all women. And see, this is a mistake that a lot of modern males make because of the internet. Because a lot of you motherfuckers is straight virgins. A lot of you motherfuckers even had sex before, but you had absolutely no idea what the fuck you were doing. And then you go to the internet to answer your fucking questions. And one guy on one fucking podcast says one thing, or they talk about some statistic, and you think that that's how it is across the board. You understand? So you need to expand your horizons. This is why you need. I just watched a video with Kobe, right? And the person was interviewing him, and they asked him, "Are you a player that plays to win, or are you a player that plays to not lose?" And he said, "I'm neither, because both." Because both situations display some type of weakness. I'm a player that plays to figure out how to become better. So what I got from that was, you want to play the game. You want to deal with women. You want to approach women, meet women, have sex with women, get in relationships, all that stuff to learn more about yourself. Mm-hmm. Tony Praying Mantis is showing that either he's had a whole lot of experience and he hasn't learned shit, or he has a little bit of experience and he doesn't really know much. Okay, and this is not to shout out to Tony Praying Mantis for the $5 super chat. He's supporting the show, and I'm not saying this to belittle him or to come at him, negatively. But we have to respect levels of experience. You understand? We have to respect levels of experience and understand that we play the game to learn about ourselves, because the game is about us. The game is not about women. Dealing with women is literally a mechanism to find out more about who you are as a man.
See, I would even go as far as to say this. This is why being an attentive lover is paramount, in my opinion. If you just do, I'm just going to get up in there and just wreck it. I'm just going to go in and rearrange all types of furniture. And you just going in there just to fuck and try to fuck the chick as hard as you can. That tells me you don't know anything about not only pleasing yourself, you don't know anything about pleasing the women that you deal with.
Right.
You just think that fucking has this one fucking gear, and that's it. So even being an attentive lover, you're gonna see things that are different from woman to woman. The moans that they make, you're gonna be able to tell, oh, she like that moan versus she's uncomfortable, but she ain't telling me moan. Right? So even that, so to everybody's point, bro, women are different. And to just, you said earlier, some women are so sensitive with their nipples that they can have an orgasm. I've witnessed that, right? Now, I had one friend, he was telling me how he was with this one woman and she did not like oral sex. She didn't like a pussy.
I know some people like that.
Yeah.
So,
or they don't like their nipples touched at all.
Yeah, I know. And I had a woman I was dealing with where sucking her nipples did nothing for her. It was annoying, right? So, so even though it would get hard, it was annoying. She would just be looking at me like, "Nigga, you're not a baby. I'm not breastfeeding you." No, so I'm like,
well, some women are very conscious of their parts, right? You know, does it look pretty?
Never know how they feel.
How does it look? Does it look pretty? Is it nice? And you know, I know some women with inverted nipples, right? So you know, that's a whole nother ball game on that. I joke, you know, I joke with a lot of ladies when you know it's time for us that contractually we're going to do it 3 times. You know, I say we do it 3 times. You know, once I get to know your body, once you get to know my body, and the third one, you know, we're gonna have a nice experience. And it's just because, you know, you really don't know the person. I used to know this one customer, man. It was the hardest. I mean, she needed all 3 done. I'm talking about hair pulling, nipple licking, rubbing the clit, and banging her out all at the same time.
Oh my!
It was work. It was work.
It's like Inspector Gadget.
It was work. I'll never forget. It was just so much work, and you know, I had to really, you know, work out, drink some Gatorade, and then go over there and be like, all right, let's do this. Like, because I knew for that to happen. But I want to warn guys that being a good lover, let's just saw it like that, but not to be a pleaser. Because even in the bedroom, you have to show your dominance too.
Exactly.
And if you're always trying to please them without the same of them, hey, you know, you got to know what I like. You have to do that. And in fact, I need to fight you off from doing that just so I can do something to you that I want to do. Right. Yeah. You got to have that balance there, because I'm telling you right now, it's going to lead into other areas.
Exactly.
So, you know, in all situations, in all interactions, you are leading. So, I like to tease. One of my things I like to do is blow and barely touch something, because in their mind you touched it already. You go to squeeze a nipple and stop right there. You know, they're looking at you like, what? You know, just touch it. You know, so there's a lot of things that you can do that still pleases them, but still show your dominance in that and stuff. So,
I'll say this too, that like what you was talking about, doing it 3 times and all that stuff. We're still, look, to go back to the video, right, where he's negotiating the 3 tiers of how to get her back to smash and this and that. We got to understand something. During sex, especially like the first encounter, we are still negotiating compatibility. We're still negotiating compatibility, because just because you bless me with the opportunity to access your vagina, it don't mean I gotta like it. It don't mean I like the feel of it. It don't mean it's tight enough or loose enough for me or wet enough or smells right or whatever. I don't like your motion. I don't like the way you give head. I don't like the way you imagine if you fucking a bitch and she moan like this. You got some. I watched the porn. I watched porn the other day. The bitch was saying num 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 num, and she wasn't like a retarded bitch. She spoke regular and she moaned. But when the dude hit a certain rhythm, she was like num 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 num, like her mouth would just open and it just sounded weird. And I'm just like,
the hell up.
What? Exactly. And you got some bitches that talk too fucking much.
I can't stand the starfish or the hyenas.
Yo, so what I'm saying is a lot of dudes swear to God they win by getting to the point. No, I am that deep into my standards of quality that pertain to me that I'm still negotiating compatibility. Because even though we're fucking right now, don't mean I want to see you again.
That made me think of this funny. Oh man, you just brought me back with the like funny noises. I fucked this Korean chick a number of years ago, and I swear she sounded like a dolphin. Exactly. I was like, what is going on right now? I cannot do it. And literally I had to drop it because I'm like, I'm not going to continue listening to this.
You're not going to continue.
Because how a woman reacts and her vocal expressions of her bodily reactions, you can't change that. No amount of conditioning or operant conditioning or training can ever change that. So if what you're hearing, that's what you're going to hear forever if you keep this woman around. No, and I'm like, no, I'm not getting down
or
with
if she
no
or if she
porpoise.
moves like fucking Chewbacca from Star Wars.
or the high.
I just want to point out.
I'll just like, yo, I can't do that. I can't do that.
I just want to point
there
out,
aren't enough
y'all,
socks.
now, if y'all dealing with chicks that put a pillow over their face so you won't hear them, that's probably why, guys. Because they're insecure about the noises that they make. And I've had women that were outwardly insecure about their fucking noises and shit.
And then she's like, Jay, why you always put a gag in my mouth every time we have sex?
Right.
I don't think I just like gags.
Look, look, when it comes to quality and compatibility, man, you want to be able to go through your repertoire and the woman responds. She just responds lovely to it. You understand? That's real compatibility. Like, I don't know if any of you guys had this, but a couple of times I've had a bitch that just got too many fucking instructions, bro. Like, why don't you shut the fuck up and let me do my thing? You get what I'm saying? And those women, I never saw them again. You understand? Certain situations, the woman got too many specificities, and I don't know if she's even focused on the pleasure. She just loves to tell a motherfucker what to do type shit. And I'm not down with none of that. I'm not down with any of that stuff. So the thing is, again, you have to understand compatibility and the quality of the person that you're with, and how your repertoire and the way you do the things you do as a man who and you should be dominant. You should be a leader in the situation, and you want to know that she responds well to your repertoire. It shouldn't be too much lacking. You understand? Like, to the point where maybe, like, if y'all have a discussion, there might be one or two things that she might want you to do or try or something. But if she's constantly giving you fucking instructions, then that's probably you're probably not compatible. But we got a call here.
For me too, the starfish.
Yeah, exactly.
Silent, just.
We got 832-832. You are live on the Manhood is a Skill Set show. We got K Zaggin, J Roman, Mr. Justin, and Miles. What's going on with you? Name, age, city. What's up?
Yo, this Bruce 41 out of Houston. First and foremost, Miles, K Zaggin, Mr. Justin, J Roman, peace, and much respect.
Yes, sir. Peace and respect, bro.
So peep this. Miles, you had said something earlier I found was kind of profound to me. You were saying about how, as opposed to going through the different tiers of offering a woman different options, it's better to have enough game to know which offer to make first. And that'd be the only offer. You could just rock with that. Because I've noticed when a woman has gone with my first offer, those have always been the most enjoyable situations for me too.
Right.
And then, but peep this, I'm going to play devil's advocate for a second. But then after I do that, I'm going to tell you where I went wrong and why I was wrong.
Okay.
So on the one hand, I can understand a woman being hesitant to come to a man's place that she doesn't even know, right? Because there's been some smooth, charismatic dudes that get women to their crib, and the dude turned out to be a kidnapper or some serial this or some serial that, or, you know, some of the other stupid shit, right? But it's happened. So I can understand a woman having that in her mind and thinking that way. So what I've done in the situations where my first offer was to invite a woman to my crib, but she turned that down, I would just hit it with something simple like, okay, well, me inviting you to my crib, that's me treating you. So since you don't want me to treat you, well, look, I hit her with, you know, you can meet me at this restaurant or this bar, and you can treat me, right? And when she agreed to that, we rock, and you know, shit's usually been pretty smooth. But still, where I see I went wrong with that is because if a woman, this is my opinion, if a woman is hesitant to come to my place because she looks at me and says she might possibly be in some danger, to me, that tells me that her judgment of character is off, because I'm none of those weirdo type of things.
Right.
So if her judgment of character is that far off, that's probably a chick I don't need to be fucking with in the first place. So, and Miles, when you said what you said, the light bulb went off. I'm like, damn, I still think I was wrong for giving her another option, even though I kind of understand where she's coming from. But that, to me now, I'm like, okay, I should probably charge a chick if she thinks she's possibly in danger with me, because that ain't the type of chick I need to be fucking with.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So, yeah. I just wanted to hit y'all with that, man. Y'all.
Wait. J. Roman got something for that. J. Roman got something for that. Go ahead.
I don't exactly agree with that, because you just made a statement, and they're both kind of conflicting. And I understand that you're saying that basically you understand both sides. So you have a woman that's cautious and says, "No, I'm not going to come back to your place," and then you say, "Well, that was me treating you. You know, how about you treat me?" And she goes along with that. I think that's fine, because it's all about her displaying and showing interest, genuine interest to you. Now, if she's cautious, she might just be a cautious person. I don't know what happened in her past. If she is showing me genuine interest and I don't have to actually go out and spend money and do all these other things that society says that this is what you do to get at her, and she's receptive, then she could just be cautious on going to somebody's place. You never know what happened until she gets to know you a little bit more. But that interest has to be there, though, and it has to be displayed. It's not like something that you're going to force and be like, okay, and you call her and she's like, well, okay, well, meet me. Yeah, I guess I'll do this. No, it should be like, hey, I don't want to go there yet, but how about we go over here, or how about we do this, or how about, and then you can make your adjustments on that, because you're still going to lead, but she's still receptive to that. Because to me in this world is crazy, right? And you just said charismatic, and there's been dudes that are real smooth, and then they go there and they have something that happens, right? And unfortunately, this is the time in the world that we live in. If a woman is being cautious about that, and that is the sole reason, then yeah, I don't mind that. But at the same time, the interest has to be shown, and it's not going to be shown in a way where I have to do all these hoops and loops for her.
So here's how I look at it.
Hey, Roman, you know what? That's a good ass point, because I don't know what happened in the woman's past.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But you're not a psychologist, though. Don't try to fix her.
Yeah.
Well, here's what I'll say to what you said, caller. I think there's pros and cons to what you said. When you said me inviting you to my spot is me treating you, if you're not comfortable with that, you can invite me out, or you can pay, and that'll be you treating me. And if she agrees to that, that's her following instructions, because you're still leading the interaction where you're instructing her to do something and she does it. So, there's a pro with that. The con is, whether consciously or subconsciously, if you guys continue down that road where you suggest something and she challenges it, now you're always going to offer a secondary thing to do. And you don't want a relationship built on that, where anytime she has a problem with you providing instructions, she always challenges it to get something better.
That's true too. Yep. And her treating you is sort of, oh, well, if you don't want me to lead, I'll let you lead. That could be how that is interpreted as well, caller. So yeah, I mean, again, it sounds cool and smooth, but yeah, after further inspection, you still got to be careful with that approach, because, bro, I'm telling you, letting like Mr. Justice said, the future of a painting is decided by the first stroke. You're giving her options, bro. You understand? Giving a woman options at the very beginning leads to a sexless marriage. I know it don't even sound like those two things go together, right? But understand, as soon as you give a woman an option, she feels like she can control shit. So later on in the relationship, when you like, yo, I'm trying to fuck, and she's like, well, I'm kind of tired, or I have a headache tonight, she feels like she has the right to say that type of shit instead of giving her man what he needs. You get what I'm saying?
That's what Miles.
So
that's why I say everything you do in this game has a consequence.
Everything.
So I'm in one of these predicaments, right, where I have a daughter, and I want my daughter to be with somebody. I know I'm different than some dudes, because I know this man-woman thing is going to continue without me, no matter what I say. I could be like, oh, I'm going to shield you from the world, baby, and, all this. That's not going to work, right? you know, just the world. She will be with somebody. She has to listen to somebody. She has to follow somebody's instructions. So the only thing I can teach my daughter is a little bit of the game, because if you teach them too much, they see through too much. Right? I don't know about Zach if you understand that, because I know you have a daughter too. But
yes.
I've seen it with my sister. My sister has 7 brothers. We have taught her the game. She sees the game in such a way that she sees BS from the very beginning. But the thing is, she has to fall for BS or to continue. She has to fall for something to have those interactions. And if you always cut it off at the pass, you won't be able to, because that's just what it is. So my daughter at some point in time has to follow these instructions. Of course, I'm a teacher to be cautious. And of course, I'm a teacher to judge the individual standing in front of her, where it's not everybody that she falls for. So as you were stating this, you know, my daughter's of age now. She's of that age now. And I'm thinking like, okay, I want her to be cautious. At the same time, though, this man-woman thing has to happen. And it's going to happen.
Well,
it's going to happen.
Everybody has a script they need, bro. Everybody got a script they need.
Yeah, so,
you have to. That way you can develop your standards.
Right.
So,
Caller, you good?
Oh, yeah, man. I appreciate y'all's info, man. I'm going to tune back in.
All right, man. Appreciate the call, brother. Appreciate you, and have a good week. Yo, who you got on the Super Bowl?
Man, I got KC.
49ers, bro.
Yeah, I want Mahomes to surpass Tom Brady.
That's what I'm thinking too, bro. That's what I'm thinking too, bro. Yes, sir. I shout out to Mahomes, bro. Shout out to Mahomes. It is what it is. But appreciate you, caller. Take it easy, man. All right, guys. Call in. Phone lines are open. 919-647-9392. 919-647-9392. Failing that, put a question in the chat. Put a Q and a question in the chat, and we'll answer your question.
I'll tell you right now.
100% me with the $9.99. All right, go ahead.
I tell you right now, you got a daughter. You realize how much the game is really in you. Right? Because, you know, the things you've been talking and doing, you got to understand. You got a daughter that it's do you want her to be with a person like you? And hell yeah, I would love for my daughter to find a me. I would love for her to find a me. I feel way more comfortable if I look at one of these young whippersnappers coming to my doorstep and realize, hold on, you look familiar, man. You sounded familiar.
Right.
Kind of sound like me.
Hey, a wise man.
Right. You're gonna be okay then, baby. You're gonna be okay.
A wise man at a beautiful seminar once said that if you want your daughter to find a good man and you're not that man, then she gonna pick you.
There we go. There we go. Yeah, that was. I don't know who said that, but that was dope.
Hey, Zach, I ain't gonna say your last name.
Yeah,
that just lets me know you do not understand.
Oh, Zach might have to be moderators. If he keeps it up, get him the fuck out of here, because we had to kick him off. We had to kick him off our show the other day. So you got about one more fucking time, Zach. One more time, and moderators, get him the fuck out of here.
Yeah, he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah,
like some people can see that, you know, like I've heard so many explanations of game, and you know, they say that it's manipulation. They say it's the skill in talking to a woman, and it's a lot deeper than that. And it's you know, I've spoken with Lucario about this a little bit, and it's, I mean, at least between us, there's this consensus that it's something that is very hard to actually define and talk about it, but when you got it, you got it. When you understand it, you understand it. And we were joking because it's a lot like the Tao. Like there's that line when talking about the Tao, it's like those that know can't say, and those that say don't know. And so if all these people are like, oh, it's this, it's like, no, because the minute you put that kind of definition on it, it exposes that you don't really know what it is. Those that know realize that it's something that's a little bit beyond language. For those that get it, understand that what that statement means.
Exactly.
So the definition I have of game, you know, because I thought about that too, and it's come down to this for me. So to simplify it, is the communication of manhood, not malehood, but malehood, because you could use that communication in any situation, right? At work, with your family, in your relationships, but it's communicating who you are and sticking to that in all situations, and communicating in such a way that it's not displaying of weakness. It displays your strength, your masculinity, and then that's where we go down to what is it really, right? So I just simplify it and say it's just the communication of your manhood.
Well, let me just say this. First of all, the problem with a lot of people when they look at game, they look at it through the lens of just YouTube shit. The word game has been around since before any of us were born.
Facts.
It's been around for a long fucking time, right? So it's a lot of times it's mere semantics, because you can take the word game and you can put knowledge, you can put strategy, you can put experience, you can put wisdom. There's a lot of words you can mix in with that. So, but let me get to this question though. So Romeo says, do you guys believe attraction is not a choice? Most women know within minutes if they will sleep with the man or he's just a friend. I find normally I get attraction from 1 out of 10 women, all numbers. What? First of all, okay, here's the problem with guys. Okay, and I'm not saying that this is you. And I've said this, a lot of guys have a very remedial understanding of attraction. Very remedial, right? And what I mean by that is a lot of guys look at it on the surface level, whereas if you look a certain way to women, then you're going to have better luck with women than this guy over here. And the reason why that's not necessarily always true. Now, if you look a certain way, you're probably going to get more attention, right? Attention doesn't always equate to anything happening.
Exactly.
Attraction for a woman finding you attractive is not the same thing as her being attracted to you. Okay, it's two different things. So for a woman, what ultimately makes a woman decide whether or not she wants to fuck you is how you behave. It's how you conduct yourself, right? How you look, that may make her a little curious, but there's been plenty of guys that have the perfect height, perfect body build, they look right in the face, but as soon as women start having a conversation with them, women automatically lose any desire to want to fuck with them. Then they'll meet another guy who's average looking, average body build, but they have this profound desire to want to deal with that guy, right? So guys, don't focus so much on whether or not a woman is attracted to you, right? Don't focus on that, right? What you need to be focused on is whether or not she's compliant enough where she deserves a second interaction beyond the first. But guys are so worried about being attracted. Am I cute to her? Does she like me? Is she comfortable around me? Fuck all that. Is she compliant enough? Is she doing what she needs to do within that first interaction to warrant a second? That's it.
Exactly. Real shit.
Yeah, I do think that attraction, much like submission, is a deep reaction. It's a response to the man that she's around. Now, what is done with that? That's the choice, because a woman can be very attracted to you, but there's some other processes in her mind, her judgments, her views, her preferences, anything that's going on with her morals, like her perceptions, her religious upbringing, whatever, that can then alter that attraction or alter that initial submission to the man. And it may go in line with that attraction, or it might deviate from that attraction. So just because she's attracted doesn't necessarily mean something's going to happen.
Right.
Not all the time.
And I'll say this about attraction. In some cases, a woman's attraction or willingness to submit, in most cases, actually, in my opinion, I don't think a woman has a choice. I really don't. Because a woman, from my view, a woman responds to her emotions. Now, look, you can have all different types of women. Just look at this panel. And just because Jay Roman is wearing a blue shirt, he's going to get the pussy for that particular woman. Right. And then there's another woman who's like, oh, my God, I can't get over that Run DMC style. I got to give K-Zag the pussy, because that's like, I think it's just a way. I think it's just when it comes to attraction. I think once a woman is attracted, I think it's like falling dominoes. Right now, this is why I never subscribe to that whole saying where guys say women are the gatekeepers to sex,
No.
and men are the gatekeepers. Men are the gatekeepers to everything, but it depends on the woman who is in the influence of the man. If like you said, due to her upbringing or what, sometimes you have a window of, there's a week in a woman's menstrual cycle where she's just fucking horny ridiculously. Mm-hmm. For a lot of women, not every woman, but there's a lot of women out there where there's a week or like 2 or 3 days in their fucking ovulation or menstrual cycle where they're almost ready to give it up to anybody. You understand? And if you're in the realm, if you happen to meet her during that window and you just say the right shit or you just say something, she'll fuck you. You get what I'm saying? So when I know things like that, and I know how emotional a woman is, and how once that emotional influence kicks in, she's a slave to it from start to finish. This is how I know. This is why I'm so willing to blame men for everything that happens in relationships. This is why I don't give women the all that credit. This is why I don't ask for women to be accountable for shit, because I know that you're a slave to your fucking emotions. So when you see this bald dude with shades, you know what I'm saying, with my beautiful shirt, and I'm talking my shit, and I got my beard and my accessories are blinging in your face, and you just love the way it sounds. You can't help yourself. I know this. It's up to me to be responsible with your vulnerability as a man. You see what I'm saying? So attraction is not a choice a lot of the times. It's really not. And another thing too, and I've said this in the video, this is why guys need to believe in themselves. And shout out to LeBron for the $20 super chat. He said, shout out to the real ballers out there spitting that game. Peace signs. I want to say this too, man. Did I lose it? Dudes, what was I saying? Oh, right. Dudes need to believe in themselves. Dudes need to believe in themselves. And the reason is this. There's a lot of women out there that they have a subconscious attraction to their DNA tribe. Do you understand? So this is why when niggas watch these, you know, when niggas is on these podcasts and they hear women say, well, I got to get with a man that's 6 foot this, and he got to have a 6-pack and he got to make 6 feet. Listen, you should never walk away from an opportunity because just because you're not 6 feet, if you go say hello to the right chick that comes from a family of men in her family that are short dudes, you could be in there. You understand? Bro, there are women out there like you'll see these interracial relationships. And the main reason why these two people fell in love is because she was a black chick that grew up in a white neighborhood. Do you understand? But the overall narrative is, oh, well, I better not go try to meet no black chicks because ain't no black chick gonna want me. But that black chick over there grew up in a white neighborhood. And if you go over there and talk to her, she's gonna open up for you, bro. You see what I'm saying? So this is why I try to tell guys, like, just as easily as you can get rejected is just as easily you can just step to a chick and say something. And because something about you will initiate that emotional influence. And then at that point in time, you're the one responsible for everything, because she's just going to be a slave to whatever she's feeling and whatever her psyche has told her to be attracted to.
Well, let me say this. Sexual attraction is biological.
Mm-hmm.
Lust is psychological. So you're talking about of the mind and of the body, right? So to your point, Miles, in certain situations, a lot of times when a woman is sexually... Now, when it comes to like physical attraction, that's a choice, right? A woman can decide either you look good based on the visual, either I like the way you look or I don't, right? But when you talk about sexual attraction, that's a feeling that a woman gets, whether she was expecting it or not. You know what I'm saying? She could like the question, the guy was asking the question, women know within the first couple of minutes whether or not you are a guy they could potentially want to have sex with. That's true. But during that interaction, she can still change her mind based on the feeling that she gets. So there can be times where a woman gets a feeling where she's attracted to you, and she's overcome by it. Right?
Exactly.
It's not even necessarily a choice. It's she's overcome with this innate desire, you know what I'm saying, to want to fuck with you heavy, right? So a lot of times when guys, when it comes to attraction, you have one group of guys that oversimplify it. Then you have another group of guys that complicate it. You know what I'm saying? And it does have complexities to it, does have nuances to it, and it does have simplicities to it. But when you truly understand how to conduct yourself as a man, you just know how to move. And you're not necessarily thinking about all of these different things. You just know they exist, but you're not thinking about them.
Exactly. For real.
That's the world I live in, Zach. I simplify things a lot. And the easiest way to simplify things is know what you can control. And the best thing I can control is myself. How I look at myself, the outlook of self, the discipline of self. Those are the things that I can control. And that's what I look at. So, if you're looking at me and you think I'm fresh, cool. If not, cool. Like that don't even matter. So, like we know, attraction enhances a lot of different things. I think sometimes everybody wants to control outer and understand outer so much that they forget how much work they need to do on themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Boom Thrust says, any game on date ideas for Valentine's? I understand if y'all don't celebrate. I don't celebrate Valentine's.
Yeah, I don't celebrate Valentine's Day.
I like the name though, Boom Thrust. So I don't celebrate Valentine's until after enough time period has gone by with a woman who has shown me their dedication, shown me consistency, and then it's able to be done. Okay,
Right.
But I think just too many guys get swept up into that. This is just a cultural norm, and this is what we do. And for people who haven't really shown any kind of consistency in that regard. But from what I've tried Steve's idea, and it is fire. I've tried that shit so just to run it down for anybody who hasn't heard it before, you get like a few things that she'll like. Okay, it could be something generic if you want to do a little teddy bear, chocolates, or whatever, or if it's something specific to that woman that she really enjoys, but they're small, right? And then you arrive early to whatever it is. So, typically people go out to a nice dinner. Fine. You get to the restaurant early and you say, I've got a reservation. That's going to be you're in that table. All right, who's my waiter? You find out who's working your section. You give those things to the waiter, and then you tell them to bring out a gift every 10 minutes, depending on, because it's going to be busy. So they're going to be running around, but just say, hey, do your best to bring one of these things out every 10 minutes. I got you on the tip. So there's going to be extra in there because I know that's a pain in the ass for this busy night. So you make them feel great about helping you out. Okay.
Right.
Learn their name, use their name so that they feel that you give a shit because you are putting them out by doing this. So every 10 minutes, he's bringing something extra out. Right. And what that's doing is, yes, you're kind of giving your woman this spike of emotions, but what's even better is that you are dominating every person in that room, because every woman's going to be noticing this, like, damn, like every 10 minutes, this dude's coming out and bringing this woman a gift. And it's not even him presenting it, it's the waiter. So it's like, she'll think like, wait, how did the waiter get the shit? Oh, he planned all this stuff way beforehand, like 10 moves ahead. And now she's looking at her dude like, damn, I wish that was me. So you're literally playing everybody in that area that can see what you're up to. It's some serious mindfuckery if you're into that sort of thing.
Right.
I've tried this once before, and
Love
it's a hoot. It is a hoot, man.
Put your hands up, Steve the Dean. 'cause
Yeah.
I just stole it. I just stole it. Put your hands up.
I tried that shit. Oh my god.
I might do that shit on like an anniversary or something like that, or her birthday, something like that.
Oh yeah. It doesn't have to be for Valentine's Day.
See, I don't go big on none of those days. I do stuff on just odd days when I get the feeling, right? And so one day I told her, like, hey, if you want to trade all these different days for one day, you let me know. And he was like, no, okay, because that even my kids come Christmas time, I can get them one gift and they'd be like, cool, Dad. Because throughout the whole year, if you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing and the school is cool and everything like that, I'm gonna hook you up. Dad, can I have that? Yeah, no problem. Go ahead and get it. Or I'll come home with it. Boom. I thought you might like that, son. I thought you might like that, daughter. I don't want to do it on a day where everybody else is supposed to do something. I don't like to be told what to do. That's mainly how I get to where I'm. So my thing is, I love that idea, and I'm gonna do it on a just a random ass Tuesday.
Right.
Just let's roll to this restaurant, and we're gonna do it on a day, and people are gonna be wondering, is it Valentine's? Is it your birthday? Is it? No, it's none of that. It's just because I want to do it.
Right.
And so this it is. But I love the idea, though. I'm glad you said something.
The difference is that being Valentine's Day is that there's a lot of expectations coming from guys. So because it's that, with what you're doing with these little gifts, is that it's mind fucking everybody in the room. So, but if you got a DS thing going on, like stuff that I promote, you have your girl go in with like a vibrating butt plug that can be activated through a controller.
Yeah, man, those things are fun.
Then you give it to the waiter and say, "Here, you can use this whenever you want." All right, and then you give him a big tip on top of that.
Hey, you know what? Never done that. I don't know if I'm there yet, Justin. I don't know.
I'm not giving nobody else.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm there yet.
It doesn't have to be a plug. It can be a wearable vibrator when it's attaches to the panties. Whatever.
Yeah, right.
Panties, but I got the remote at all times. Fuck that.
But it's a different thing because she trusts you. You know what I'm saying? You're like, okay, now this guy is gonna have it, and he could be like fucking crazy with that trigger.
Yeah.
Or completely forget to use it, and now she's like, I expected this thing, and you're like, I still fucking you in the head. Shout out to 1950.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So real quick, we're gonna call, right, Miles?
Yeah, we're gonna call.
Hey man, we ain't gonna be here forever. We got shit we gotta do, people. We got a life too. 919-647-9392. Call in.
You got me thinking, Justin. That's a hard relinquish of power for me.
Yeah,
I like to have
no,
control.
because it's not a relinquish of power. The waiter's working for you. He's doing what you're telling him what to do.
You're delegating.
Exactly. It's always under my control.
I see it. I just wouldn't do it.
It's not for. I'm just saying. There's like a lot of things that you can just put your thinking caps on. If you're going out on Valentine's Day, you want to do something fun or whatever, you want to do something different. Just get your thinking caps on. Get out of the box of what has been fed to you by culture of what's acceptable. You know.
If my server is a hot woman, or if I think she's attractive, then maybe. Mm-hmm. But if it's another guy, I'm like, no, you don't. You don't control fucking stimulating my bitch's vagina.
Last time we did this, it was too sporadic. I like the way he did it every now and then.
Yeah, I like the way he did the button.
And then we're like, Jay, can we go back to that restaurant? Is Brian working still?
No.
We both asking for Brian. Hey, Brian, is you here today? Is Brian working today? Brian did it really good, and I like Brian.
Because Bridget has a vagina. I want Bridget to work the fucking button.
Right, she'll know.
Yeah.
Lord have mercy.
Man, y'all are wild. Hey, if y'all got a question, look, it's 1:49. At 2 something, we out of here.
Right.
So if you want to call in. The phone number is 919-647-9392. Again, gentlemen.
Does that long dude ever call in? Or he just there to kind of like
he just wanted to troll. It's like
he trolls
guys who watches a lot of shit and makes them think that they know something.
Yeah.
And then they want to come in here and listen to us skipping across the very thin surface of the game. Yeah. And then they think they're hearing something, and then they come in with their comments thinking they're saying something.
So right. Type of guy, he's still lying to himself then.
No. He watches a bunch of Alan Roger Curry videos, shout out to him, but then thinking that now he's got an understanding of the game, and it's like, no.
Exactly. A lot of these guys, they hear shit, but they don't actually live it.
Right.
And they think because they, like Justin said, they think because they garnered this knowledge that they can actually hold court with people that actually live it for real. And it's like, no.
You can read a dozen books on fucking mountain climbing, but until you go out there and you're faced with the challenges and you're like, well, either I do this or I'm dead or whatever, you're not going to be able to have that real knowledge. You have to have boots on the ground over and over and over again, and with anything to have any kind of say.
There you go. So what are we talking about, gentlemen? Why you should never make concessions when dating, everything you do in this game has a consequence. And this is what I want to bestow upon all you men listening right now, and even you ladies, even y'all too. But mostly for you men. In the very beginning, okay, and we talked about this. I'm not the first person to say it. What you do in the beginning is sets the precedent for what comes later. This is why it's important that you establish boundaries and parameters in the very beginning. And what I want guys to understand is that as much as we all can look at an attractive woman and say, that's a woman I would like to go talk to, or as much as we might enjoy a nice sexual encounter with an attractive woman, you cannot let that be the thing that controls you. That should not control where your standards lie. That should not control how you move with women. At the end of the day, I can see a woman that I find to be attractive, but if she doesn't move within the confines of my standards, it doesn't matter how good she looks. That's irrelevant to me. It doesn't matter. And Miles, you said something earlier about negotiating compatibility. So a lot of guys don't even know what compatibility means. A lot of people really don't. You know what I'm saying? You really fucking don't, right? So for me, the basic definition of compatibility is existing in harmony without conflict. That's the basic definition of compatibility. So if you make a suggestion to a woman and she turns that down, and then you come in with a secondary suggestion, you guys are automatically not compatible. You're automatically not compatible because there's nothing harmonious about your interaction.
Facts.
Because now you're stepping outside of yourself and you're trying to do things that you think would be appeasing to her. Simply because she got something that you want. And here's what I never understood. Just on some prideful shit. When do some of you guys ever get to the point where where you got something a woman wants? Like some real shit.
Dick is a gift.
You never put yourself in position where you actually got something that outside of money and outside of just your attention, right? Where you actually got something that a woman wants that she is campaigning and auditioning to get to, right? Like Justin, you said the young lady called the train 2 hours. I'm sure that there were other guys who would have invited her out. She probably would have said, I'm not driving or I'm not getting on the train for 2 hours to go see that motherfucker. I'm sure of it, right? I'm sure she would have did that for every single guy. So my point is this. A lot of guys are so thirsty for pussy, they never ever put themselves in position where the woman actually sees the value in them.
Right.
Beyond what that guy can do for her to prove that he's worthy of the pussy.
Yeah. And you know, like, we've all seen this before. We usually, like, younger guys where we've had a friend and they start dating a woman and then, like, some time goes by and then you meet up with them or something like that and he's changed into this other dude. And you're like, wait a second, bro, you're vegan now? What? You know what I'm saying? And she's like this like vegan yoga chick and, you know, incense and crystals, and he's got like a crystal around his neck and he's vegan and wears like handmade clothing. You're like, what the fuck just happened to you? Right? Because that's what happens. That's what happens when you make concessions. You end up morphing into whatever her program is all about.
Exactly.
And if you think about it on a deeper level, if you think about it, well, not really a deeper level, but if you just think about it, because I know we do the pineapple show on Wednesday, and there's guys are always doing the same thing. What do you like to do? Where do you like to go? Because like, and when Justin said more, that made me think about this, where guys are always trying to do things to fit the type of guy they think the woman is looking for. Right? And my thing is, and this is what, and if guys really, really think about it, this is one of the reasons why you failed to be consistent in a relationship. Because you spend a whole relationship trying to morph into something you think you need to morph into to not only get the woman, but to keep her. And whether women know it or not, there's something very disingenuous about that, right? At what point are they needing the real you if you're always acquiescing to them?
Facts. Yeah. That's it.
And one of my biggest issues I have is, so you did it once, right? So, and you realize it didn't work. You morphed into this person. You know, you were wearing matching shirts in the mall. You were doing all this goofy stuff, right? And you still lost her.
Right.
It didn't work. So at what point do you say, I might want to do something different? Right. And that's the thing that gets me about people. They do the same thing over and over again. And it just depends on how hot she was and what she looked like and how she made me feel. Instead of saying, you know what, there got to be a different way than this, because it don't turn out right. It don't turn out the way I want it to turn out. At what point do a person looks at themselves and say, I got to do something different? Because the consistent thing in this is me. And it didn't work in this relationship. It didn't work in this relationship. It didn't work in that relationship. And I'm not saying all relationships are going to work out, but at the same time, you won't feel bad in this one. You won't feel bad in that one. You won't feel bad in that one, because at the end of it, you're like, yeah, I'm cool with me. I know exactly who I am, what I'm looking for, what I want around me, what type of person that needs to be with me. And that's my standard that I'm gonna hold up to.
Right.
And I think that there's one thing that discipline, certain characteristics that you need in relationships. And to me, a lot of individuals just aren't mature. They're not mature enough to be disciplined, not mature enough to say, this is what I stand for, not mature enough to say, hey, I don't care if you walk away after I make this statement. You know, I'm fine with myself. And when I talk to a lot of the youth and a lot of individuals, that's one of the main things I talk about is right now in society, I don't think there's a lot of people that are mature and should be in relationships.
Right.
The way they behave and where they want it all about themselves, or the way they want, you know, things to go, and this unrealistic ideal of relationships, you know, and it really shows people in their maturity level where it's like, yo, if you cannot control self, how can you be with anybody else to show them yourself? So
yeah.
I agree. Most people should not be in relationships, both men and women. There are a lot of people who don't have the mental capacity and they're too emotionally weak to be in relationships. A lot of people. Right now, some of y'all motherfuckers who are married right now and girlfriend, boyfriend relationship, y'all too. So some of y'all don't need to be in relationships because y'all got issues. But go ahead. Y'all got
Yeah. Well, after 4 months, I presented my woman with a basically like a terms and standards. And it wasn't, or like terms and conditions. That's what it is. So I presented a document. I mean, a short document, just a small list of terms and conditions. And you know, because certain things were coming up, and I had to nip it in the bud and say, no, listen, it's going to be these are the things. And I listed them as, you know, just maybe like 5 things, and as just like a basic, you know, agreement, is saying like, look, this is what it is. This is what I expect. This is what I don't want to see. This is what I don't want to hear. And this is how it is. You have complete, full autonomy, complete free will to come in and do that, or to not do it. And I'm not going to twist your arm. I'm not going to beg for you to be here. I'm not going to pander or anything like that, because, you know, you're a grown person with a fully functioning mind. You can choose. Okay. But if you choose and you follow, there will be good rewards. All right, you'll be treated well. But there's no position to be in here complaining about what it is. There's no trying to change what it is. This is what it is, and you say okay or not okay. And it's like, if she's there, she's following. If she's not following, she's not there. It's that simple.
We got a question there, Mr. Jan.
So he says, even with the woman with whom you are compatible in many ways, there will be differences in what we want or what our ideas are. What our ideas are, because after all, we are different people. Bro, you're not going to be compatible in the sense that you agree on everything. No, of course there's differences. Look, gentlemen, when we talk about compatibility, okay, as the man, you have a certain way you conduct your life, a certain way that you live, right? You might hear us say things about vetting and having a program and a certain structured way of living. When you deal with women, you should only be dealing with women that go with the flow of that and not against the grain of that.
Facts.
That's it. See, she can have, like, you can like horror movies and she likes fucking rom-coms and shit, right? You like fucking hip-hop music, she likes fucking blues and whatever. It's okay. You don't gotta have. You can have certain things in common, and maybe there's other things where you don't have in common. You don't have to have a bunch of things in common to be compatible. At the end of the day, is this woman willing to follow your lead and to relinquish any desire to want to be in control of shit? That's it.
Yeah.
If that's the case, you can work with her. I got it.
I think it's more the difference in lifestyle. I think that's more important, right? So let's say the woman you meet is a homebody. She doesn't like to go out. She likes to hang out at home. Let's say she's into like hobbies and crafts and things like that. She just likes to chill at her home, very relaxed. You are a club promoter.
Yeah.
You're standing out there. You're at the clubs fucking hammering all night long. You're fucking doing coke off of women's tits. You love fucking house music, club music that you know, you're like in it. You guys are not going to be compatible, even if you both like horror movies, you both like hip hop music, you both like a certain type of clothing, you both like the same kind of food. It's just not going to work, right? So I think if you have like, you know, compatible lifestyles, that's going to be more conducive to a decent relationship. You know, but there's always going to be concessions on her end. Okay. And so when I'm looking at these sort of things, I look for the least amount of adjustment as possible. Okay. So you can have your program and a woman's always going to have to adjust a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Always, because you're specific. You know, we're not generic men out here. So she's going to have to make some adjustments. It's just, are those adjustments a lot or a little? If there's a lot, that's going to lead to resentment. If she tries to do it, it's eventually going to lead to resentment. She's going to fucking hate it. If it's a little bit, she can get over that and you can help her make that transition. And there'll be far less problems.
See, and you said something, Mr. Justin. You said lifestyle.
Yeah.
And that's like, if you're the type of dude where you hang around the house a lot, you don't really do a lot of traveling, but she's a party chick, she's always jet setting here and there, that might not be the chick you should get into a relationship with. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with her. It's just like Justin was saying, she has a lifestyle that's not predicated on your own, so it makes no sense for y'all to get together. Because what do you hear guys complain about on the internet? Oh man, don't date a chick who is always going out with her girls, or she's taking girl trips. Now, their reason for saying it is because they're insecure about her cheating. That's why they say it. What we're saying is, if a woman has a lifestyle that doesn't match yours, then maybe that woman shouldn't be in your life seriously. Maybe casually, but maybe not seriously. Okay.
Mm-hmm. I got some very older gentlemen that I speak with and talk to, and they are different than their wives. Like, they roll out, they take trips to overseas and all sorts of stuff. However, their wives don't take, girls trips. They take vacations with their husbands. We were all talking, and the wife said, "Why would I want to go anywhere without my husband?" Right? That was her expression on, going on a trip. The girls are trying to get together, and she was like, "Nah, I'm good." Now, me and him, we didn't went on trips and everything, but for her, why would I want to go without my husband? And to me, that's where it's at. Like, if she submits to that authority and listens and do things the way you like them to be done, you guys can do different things. However, under your guidance, under how you like things to be done. And to me, that's how it works. I know another guy that, he spends all his money on fixing up on old school cars. I mean, like, he breaks the bank on, good thing he makes enough money to do so. But the amount of money he spends on fixing on these cars is ridiculous. His wife, however, might complain, fake complain, but at the end of the day, he's like, yeah, that don't matter. Like, bring me my sandwich, please. Right. And that's it. And I see these guys operate, and the thing that's consistent is, one, she's going to let him be him, and two, she still respects his authority as the man of household. And I think when those things happen in a lineup, then you can have different things there. Your lifestyles might be slightly different, but the consistent thing is, her understanding, your direction and how you're going to live life together.
Well, she understands the assignment. she understands the role that she's been allotted in, and she understands the assignment. She knows what she's supposed to do within that role, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? And she accepts the leadership, and that's the most important part. She accepts the leadership. She don't
My
fight.
sympathy is to that guy, with the cars and shit, because you get into customizing automobiles, man, it just sucks away everything. But it's like an addiction.
It is.
You can't stop because these companies keep making new fun little things to put on your vehicles. I do it to my bikes, and it's just it's terrible. It's terrible.
Hey, there's worse things to spend money on, bro. If I don't have any game, can I still talk to women with just a normal conversation? Richard, you irritate me, bro. You watch us too long to be asking this question. I don't want to.
Are you a young guy? Is Rickster a young guy? He sounds like a young guy, especially like this anime video game character.
Like late 20s, if I remember correctly. I think he's like late 20s, Rickster.
Okay, well, first put your face on there, man, instead of these like anime characters, right? So you got to start thinking like a man to then behave like a man. All right, your thoughts precede your behaviors.
So normal. A lot of you guys are worried about getting played, and the reason why you're gonna get played is because you don't deal with women on your terms. It's very simple. Number one, you should not be going out in the world overly concerned about what these women are gonna do, and end up all you're doing is playing defense. Right? You can't even really enjoy yourself. Because you're always looking for something fucked up to happen to you. That's not the way you should be living your life. But as far as being played, the only guys that can get played are guys that are easily manipulated by beauty and booty. Those are the guys that will always get played.
Yeah.
I would like for Rickster to call up because I need to know what the fuck is normal conversation, and I need to know what being played means. What do we mean? What are we talking about? Getting cheated on? Getting manipulated? What are we talking about exactly? Like, what the fuck are you afraid of? That's the question.
Yeah. How do you get played in normal
like
conversation?
You like a girl a lot, but she's not liking you back? Because that's what a lot of guys think played is. But here's what I would say. Go get played. Go get played a lot, okay? Because there's no sense. I mean, like, Miles, you box. How good would you get if you won every sparring match you were in? Like, if you just dominated every sparring match, how good could you possibly get? You know what I'm saying? And that's what these guys want to do. They just
fucked up.
Right. They want to go out and they just want to win.
Right.
They don't want to have any bumps and bruises. They don't want to suffer. They don't want to have any kind of discomfort. They just want to feel good and safe and feel like a winner, right? They want to play like the video game on God mode with all the cheat codes, okay? You don't grow that way.
Right.
You don't grow. You grow by getting your ass kicked, right? You grow as a boxer by boxing with people who are far better than you, right? And with anything, you want to play in a band, play with people who have musician skills that are far better than yours, right? Any skill, any knowledge, surround yourself with people who are smarter and better than you, or throw yourself into situations where you have to adapt. You have to learn, okay? Because unless you're a complete fucking knucklehead and you just keep bashed in the head with experiences and you don't learn, well, then you're just fucked, all right? But most of us have at least a little bit of wherewithal to be able to sit back and go, all right, wait a second, this is just not working out. Let me think differently, right? And that's the beginnings of trying to learn, because part of game is being able to be extremely observant, right? And not from an emotional perspective, but from more like an engineer's perspective, and just looking at your shit and going, okay, what do? I don't like this, this, and this. How can I make it not that? Right? And you can't get there unless you're throwing yourself into certain experiences again and again and again.
Exactly. They call it exposure therapy.
Yes, exactly.
And what's so crazy when you're talking, Justin, it also allows you to understand how you interact with the world and not the cookie cutter program that you see, maybe on online where, hey, if you do this, you'll get this answer. No. You might not get that answer.
Exactly.
Just like, me in 1950, we hang for a long time. So, but I'm not him and he's not me.
Right.
I'd smile and joke around. He's the guy that's staring in the club like somebody owes him some money. Me, I'm around having a good time, but we both have a great time. We both come out with great experiences. So people have to understand that when things are said, you still have to learn how it applies to your personality, how you communicate, how you do certain things.
Well, I would go as far as to say this as well. All four of us can deal with the same woman and have 4 different unique experiences with that same woman because we're all unique men. And based on the fact that we all are individual men and unique in our own way, that woman is going to respond to us based on that uniqueness.
But I go first, though. I'm just saying.
So this is what I would say to
go ahead, because I'm just want to know if you can cook. You know, that's one of my first. Can you cook, and what do you cook, and what's for dinner tonight?
So what Rickster I can't even talk. Hold on. What Rickster does not understand, and what other men do not understand, is how women treat you is typically based on how they perceive you to be. Right now, perceptions aren't always accurate, right? But most of the time they can be. So what guys got to understand is when you first start conversating with women and dealing with women, they're automatically going to form a perception about you. And one or two things are going to happen. Either you're going to prove them wrong, or you're going to prove them right. Oh, you are that guy I thought you were. Right. So what happens is, if you come across like a guy where you can easily be manipulated or deceived, and you pedestalize women based on attractiveness and pussy and all that other shit, once women figure that out, well, that's their perception of you. You are a guy where you pedestalize beauty and sex. So once that happens, women already know you don't have too much of a standard. You don't have too much of a substance as a man if those things can move you so easily, right? So why would a woman respect you? Where's the incentive for her to respect you?
Facts.
Better yet, where is the incentive for her to add any value to your life? Because you're showing her with the fact that you pedestalize booty and beauty that you don't really require much of her outside of that. So she doesn't. This is why I say a woman can deal with one guy and she don't do nothing for that guy. She just shows up and looks cute. This other guy, she cooking this nigga meals, right? She folding this nigga's laundry. And you're looking at her like, why is he getting that, but I'm not? It's because she perceives him to be one way and perceives you to be another. Y'all got it.
Yeah, we could get to another question. If Rickster don't want to call in. And guys, call in. We only gonna be here maybe another half hour. Call in, guys. It is 919-647-9392. 919-647-9392. All right.
What are you nervous about?
So he says, even if I'm nervous, I should still approach women regardless. Your emotions? Y'all got emotions?
Here we go.
Yes, wise for
we get right back to that. 862, you're on live on the Manhood is a Skillset show. We got K-Zag, Mr. Justin, J. Roman, and Miles. What's going on with you, bro? Name Age City. What's going on?
Yes. Good afternoon. This is Rickster from Brooklyn, New York. I'm 33 years old.
Oh, Rickster, what's up, bro? All right.
Yeah,
All right. So yeah, what are you talking about when you say normal conversation, and what do you mean when you get played? What are you talking about, bro? Expound on your question.
Well, to be honest, I was just over into my emotions because of what happened on Wednesday. I was calling to the Pineapple Show about it was some other thing. But the thing is that it's leading me back to, where I was. Okay, so for example, what I did is about long walks on the beach and everything else, right? And I kind of used that in order for me to make a girl like me because I want to be accepted into society. And I guess I've been breaded into that, and because of that, I guess I was a victim to not a victim. I was not a victim. I made the choice that I made, and because of that, I got played by so many women because I thought that pleasing a woman would be the right answer, so that way I could get what I want.
I'm bothered that you use the word victim. You could try and take it back, but it came out of your mouth. Like what you say, Miles, the language exposes you. You said it. You said it. You said it. Know what I'm saying?
I'm glad you did correct yourself, though. I'm glad you did correct yourself.
So even if after listening to us, you realize that's not a word men should be using, at some point in your life, you felt you were a victim. Even if you don't believe it now, you thought you were at some point, correct?
Right, correct.
That's what I thought. First of all, let me just say this to all you so-called grown fucking men watching and listening. Men are not victims in a fucking dating game. Okay, I don't care if your chick throw hot grits on you. You know what I'm saying? You're not a victim. You know what I'm saying? You're not, right? And I'm gonna tell you right now, if your chick is doing violent shit to you, you chose the wrong chick, and you probably deserve that shit. You know what I'm saying? So look, let me say this.
Depends on how hot those grits are.
let me say this. And look, and I'm not wishing harm to anybody, but what I will say is this: if bad shit is happening to you in a relationship, and you continue to stay and suffer through more bad shit, that's really kind of your fault. You know what I'm saying? Because you stayed for that shit. Right. I just want to point that out. That's what I'm really. So caller, this is what I would want to. This is what I want to say to you. So, what you're showing me with what you said, right, is that you have no sense of self-respect, you have no sense of self-value, no sense of self-worth, and you believe that a woman is more valuable than you, so you have to do whatever you got to do to win her affection.
Right.
And
but
the question extends deeper than that, though, because it then opens up another question, which is why? Why do you want that? Okay, why? And you yourself and a lot of guys, because you're not alone, man. Why is it so important to have that that acceptance, the validation, all that stuff coming from a woman? And if you keep asking why and trying to dig, you'll get to the root of that stuff. And that's what the answer is. And once that becomes dismantled, then you can, it'll change a lot of the behaviors and how you see things, how you perceive women.
Right. I already know where it is. The main course is the main core of this is back in high school, where I was new to all of this. Everything always go back to high school, meaning that, hey, you're trying to figure out who you are, who you're going to be friends with, who's going to be like.
I can't listen.
All that stuff.
Hey, Rickster.
Yeah.
Rickster, I'm gonna have to stop you, man, because I can't listen to back to high school excuses. Right? When we are younger, we act and behave as younger. But when we get older as men, our reasoning changes. So we have to think of things in a new process because we're a little more mature. We see information and we read it and we take it in a different way. So if you could say, hey, this happened back in high school, well, then I can twerk my mental thinking and understand how I started to believe that, but don't believe it now. So I'm not going to act on it as if I still believe that I'm in high school. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So we can't, that's the one thing, I know psychology, like, hey, in the past, it all goes back to when you're a childhood and do. But once you recognize where it's at and you have the maturity level and the mental level to say, okay, I know I acted like this then, and this is where it came from, but I need to think differently because that was the most immature state I was in.
Thanks.
In high school, when I was a adolescent. Right?
Right.
So now, why do you still believe that's the way to go? When you have so much data between high school and now that says it does not work.
You're right. You're definitely right about that.
So again, normal conversation, and can I still talk to a woman with just normal? Like, what do you think? What exactly do you think game is, Rickster?
Game is all about you.
Okay, game is all about you. So if it's all about me, then why can't I have a normal conversation with a chick, let her know exactly what I want to do because it's all about me, and continue that way. What are we talking about? Like the problem, and because when I listen to your questions, it's like you're mystifying and making game magical. It's like, no, motherfucker. You see a girl, hey, what's up? How you doing? I had this crazy idea that maybe we could go get a drink together. When are you free? It's that fucking simple.
Right.
Like, what is it? What's so? Oh well, a normal conversation. What? So you like to talk about toothbrushes and toothpaste? That's a normal conversation, right? But if you was to ask her out on a date, that's somehow a different conversation. What are we talking about?
You're right. You're right.
Like you guys, you put this extra pressure on yourself because you always think, man, I gotta be as smooth as a pimp if I could manage to get a bitch to like me. Oh, I gotta act like Miles to get a bitch to like, or I gotta be dom. I gotta be in some dom submission shit like Mr. Justin to get a woman to like me. Stop. Focus on you for real.
Mm-hmm.
Focus on you. Because listen, there's a little bit of Miles in you. There's a little bit of Justin in you. There's a little bit of J. Roman in you. There's a little bit of Zach in you.
Hey man.
What I'm trying to
participating in that circus act y'all talking.
Listen, what I'm trying to say is, you want to be as smooth as a pimp, but I'm saying find the smoothness in Richter. You want to be as confident as Miles, find the confidence in Richter. You want to be as dominant as Mr. Justin, find the dominance in Richter. That's what I'm trying to explain to you, bro. We're all connected, and there's parts of you that are similar to every man on the planet. But you need to look at yourself and fucking find it and stop putting all this pressure on yourself. It is a normal conversation, bro. Every word out of your fucking mouth is a normal conversation. What are we talking about?
You know what, Miles? I got the answer for him. Caller, here's the remedy. Stop giving a fuck what women want. Stop caring.
Now, what they think, what they say, or any of that stuff.
Yeah, none of that. And here's the thing. Now, when we talk how we talk, people think we have an issue with women. No, we love women, and we've all repeatedly said that. It's not a lack of love of women that makes me say, stop giving a fuck what they want. It's not your job to give a woman what she wants. It's her job to get what she wants. It's not your job to give it to her. Okay, your job is to get what you want out of life. Part of getting what you want out of life is you have to deal with a woman who is compliant to such an extent she doesn't make things a challenge for you. So all you do is what Miles said. Hey, would you like to grab a drink sometime? Her response to that fucking question is going to tell you whether or not you continue the conversation. It's that simple.
It's real simple.
Rickster, you know, Unique brought up a really interesting point here. How many different accounts do you listen to on YouTube? Like, just roughly speaking.
How many accounts? It's just you guys. You guys make my what's it called? My mindset a little bit more differently. Before I met you guys, it was like a lot of red
bunch of stuff.
Right?
It was a lot of red pill stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Before.
But there's still a little bit in me, but not all. I mean, there's still a little bit in me left.
So when I used to be a personal trainer, people would come to me and they say, you know, they always come to you with the idea that like they don't get results, and that's why they were coming to a personal trainer. And I would ask them, well, how many different programs have you done in the past like couple of years? And usually it's a lot. And the thing is that they would go from one thing, and then when things didn't happen fast enough, they go to another, and then to another, and then to another, then to another. So they had too much variety and not enough consistency. Okay? So I said, listen, pick one thing and do that strictly for 6 months. Then come to me and let's look at what your results are like. Okay. So the same thing is with learning about yourself. Like the reason why I asked that is because I was concerned about how much inputs were coming into your head. And if you're listening to all this different stuff, it can get confusing or overwhelming. So I would say to just try to simplify things. Okay. because it doesn't matter who you're talking to. If you like what they're doing, you trust what they have to say, it all leads back to the self. Everything Jay talks about leads back to the self. Same with Zag, same with Miles, myself, Lucario, Steve, 50, everybody, no matter what their pathway or their style or their message, all of us come back to the self. Always. All pathways lead back to the self. It's just a matter of what you're looking at, how to get there. So it's like, we were talking about overcomplicating things and simplification and stuff like that. That's what I think. It's just like, if you're worried about this and that and what to say and what to do, how to show up, what is game, what's being played and all that stuff, it just gets too much. Okay. Learn who you are, learn what you want, and stick on what that is and stand on what you believe in. And that will be much more valuable than learning how to talk to women, because it's like, I've known guys who are really good at talking to women, but they were weak men at their core. Right. And it's like, so how good or valuable is that skill at that point? You know what I'm saying? You're just a good salesman. Okay, and
right.
Let me ask you this, Rick. Do you like the walks on these beaches that you've been taking?
I like long walks, but you'd never on the beach if I'm with a woman. But I do like to have long walks by myself.
Okay.
I like to have long walks.
So you do that frequently with yourself?
Yes. And sometimes I like to wake up early in the morning just to see the sunrise, because it feels I'm at peace. I don't usually tell anybody about that, but yeah.
I would, because I wouldn't care what nobody else thought about it.
Yo, you in Brooklyn, you said?
Yeah.
Check out Breezy Point down by Coney Island. Breezy Point Beach, that nobody goes to that beach. It's a pain in the ass to get there, but it's a fantastic beach. So if you like that, that's something that you can bring a woman on. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of cliche, like walks on the beach, but this is actually something you like to do. So, but I'm saying, check out Breezy Point, man. It used to be like old military sort of thing going on there, and it's all just like emptied out buildings. Nobody goes there. It's basically you have the whole place to yourself.
Let me piggyback off what Justin.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. But hold on, before you go, Rick, let me just piggyback off what Justin just told you. You talked about that's something that you like to do, and that's what guys need to start doing. Introduce women to who you really are. Part of that is, if you want to meet up with a woman, have her meet you someplace that you frequent, right? That's going to give insight into who you are, because that's what you like to do, right? So not only are you introducing her to yourself as far as hi, my name is, but you're also introducing her to your life to one degree or another. See, a lot of guys, the reason why y'all struggle being consistent is because you're always manufacturing something to get the woman to like you with or for.
Yeah.
Right? And oftentimes it's hard to keep that up for an extended period of time, because you were never doing those things for you. You were doing it because you thought the woman would like it. Right? But if you introduce, but you gotta like yourself, Rickster. If you don't like yourself, it ain't gonna fucking matter. Right? But if you actually love yourself, is probably a better word. And if you introduce a woman to you and to the things you do, you never have to worry about being inconsistent, because that's you. Food for thought.
I think too, like there's no 100% all the time that every time you talk to a woman, she's going to just fall in love with you. And I think sometimes guys are after this, facade of Mr. Smooth, that every time they say this 100% thing, and they always, and that doesn't happen. The only 100% you could have is you being cool with yourself.
Exactly.
Michael Jordan said a statement, and I just, ever since I heard it, it stuck in my head. I found the poster, I had it on the wall, and it said, "I fell over and over again, and that's why I succeed."
Right.
And the thing is, everybody's so afraid to fail, they don't succeed, because it stagnizes them and it just freezes them from doing things that I would say is natural. Talking to another human being is just natural. I get in the elevator. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Oh man, That looks really nice. Where'd you get that from? Oh, I like this. I like that. All right, you guys have a good day. And I'm out. To me, things are just so natural just to talk to somebody else. We're always putting this fail or success rate on it when it's just interactions.
Yeah.
You seen her, you said, hey, I think you look pretty good, or whatever you said to her. Want to get a drink? No, thank you. Okay, well, you have a nice day.
That's it.
That what did you gain or lose from that?
That's what I'm saying, man.
Even if the woman agrees to go out on a date, you didn't gain anything for that either.
What did you gain or lose from that? Like,
right.
It doesn't begin in the day. It doesn't. None of that happens, and it's just because the day is with you.
Right.
Yeah.
You make your day. I got a saying at work when people come in all pissed off, or I made them pissed off. I enjoy that. Anyway, my saying is,
piss you off. You allowed yourself to be pissed off.
Your bad day will not be my bad day. So whatever your bad day is not going to be my bad day. Like my day is set by me. So it has nothing to do with you. So my thing is, we got to start living life. And this happens when you really know yourself, when you really enjoy being with yourself, when you really enjoy your life. One, you'll start to display that, and people are going to be like, man, wow, what's so great about you? You know, about your life. You live over here in this little square. I'm not saying you do. I'm just saying that, you know, whatever, when you really see somebody enjoying their life, people start to look like, what is making you so happy? In this world, in this fucked up world today, what is making you go through here skipping and enjoying life? And when you let them know it's me, that's how I operate.
And Jay, if they really just have like a decent life, things aren't crazy or struggling or whatever, yet they're still not doing what you're suggesting, then shout out to Miles. They got to learn how to do some appreciation.
Yeah,
because there's so many people who have lives that you look at and go, there's nothing for you to complain about, yet they're not doing what you're suggesting, Jay. And it's because they don't appreciate what they have. None of it is good enough. And it's like, well, okay, you're going to go through life with a not good enough mentality, and it's going to permeate through all of your interactions.
Exactly.
It's all right to strive for more, but if what you have, you're like, oh, this sucks.
Right.
Like, not good enough. Like, it's just going to ruin everything.
Yep. Gratitude is everything. Seriously.
Yep.
So they're looking for people to bring them something that they themselves should be bringing to themselves.
Right.
They're obligating people outside of them to bring them joy.
Right.
To bring them happiness.
Hey, Richard, real quick. So if you your life as it stands right now, what scale of 1 to 10 or percentage wise out of 100, what are you operating on?
Well, I'm operating on right now. It used to be a 70, but now it's a 40. But I do enjoy the peace that I have.
Wait. So you said it went from 70% to 40%. Why?
Yeah, because remember the last time we spoke, you said it was lower, and I told you, and I said I would agree.
Okay, so why is it 40%?
Well, I still need to figure out who I am, and I still don't have an identity.
So since the last time we spoke, what have you done to help figure out who you are?
Nothing. Just watch the live streams.
No, to be honest, nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
All right. Cool. Makes sense to me. You got all the time in the world, bro. Just sit there and just stay where you're at and keep experiencing the same thing, because that's what you want to do, right?
No.
Because the victim mindset is comfortable for you, correct?
No.
You sure?
It's not.
It's not. But you're not willing to do anything else.
I am.
Bro. What are you willing to do?
Now he knows what to do. Just shit or get off the pot.
Yep.
There's not one thing anybody can say to make you work.
Exactly.
You have to do work.
So, Richter, are you on the masculine identity?
I was. It was a promotion for 99 cents, but it's over.
Really? Oh, really? So it got too pricey for you, huh?
Yeah, right now I'm just here to just save my money and stuff. Once I have enough money, then I'll definitely to you guys.
So, bro, let me ask you a question. You say you're 33 years old, right?
Yeah.
Do you have any kids?
No.
Okay, good. All right. Were you ever married and divorced?
No.
So, are you paying for like a sick parent? Are you helping somebody out financially?
No.
Do you work full time?
Yeah.
Do you have any expensive hobbies or habits?
I'll start
I was playing video games now, to be honest.
Right. So you're not like either like buying weed or whatever, alcohol.
No, I'm
shopping.
not.
Shopping.
Sporadically. Fit to me.
Okay, so what do you do with your fucking money while you can't be on somebody's membership? That's what we're trying to get to, bro.
Right now, I'm using my money to invest into myself. Right now, into the stock market and stuff. Like I said, once I have enough money, because the monthly memberships, everything, I know it doesn't cost a lot, but I need to make enough money in order for me to be like, hey, I have enough money to,
No. You just don't see the value in it yet.
Let me ask you a question. While you were on the membership for 99 cents for 30 days, did you write down any notes or anything that so you could use anything you had while you were off the membership?
No.
Okay, thank you. All right, Rickster, I'm gonna let you go, bro. I'm gonna let you go. You know what you need to do. Go ahead and fucking do it. You're a grown ass man. The fuck out of here. All right. 512, you are live on the Manhood is a Skill Set show with Kay Zaggin, Jay Roman, Mr. Justin, and Miles. Name, age, city. How can we help you?
Yo, this is AR on the chat. I'm 31 and I'm calling out of Dallas.
All right, what's going on, AR? What's the question?
So it's more of a comment. So I just recently became a high school teacher, right?
Congratulations.
And appreciate it. And through the training, majority of the training, aside from like the subject that you teach, is all about developing a program. They hand you like books and books and books on developing a program within your classroom, but most importantly, outside of your classroom. Right?
Interesting.
So on Wednesday, I had this meeting around like 7 p.m., right? Like after school. And it was like 50 something teachers in there, right? And majority of them, like 90% of them were women, right? And all of them, every single one of them has a strict program based around their lives. Like they all busted out their schedules, their little like journals. And all these women have a strict program from the fucking second they wake up, 6:30 a.m. to the second they go to sleep.
Right.
Like literally, like I wake up at 6:30. From 6:30 to 6:45, I take a shower. From 6:45 to 7, I make my breakfast. From 7 to 7:30, I get to school.
We got it.
Crazy program.
Right.
And that's what a lot of these guys lack, is a strict program within themselves.
Exactly.
Right. So like this dude, he doesn't, like the last dude, right, doesn't know anything about himself. And I guarantee you, if we were to like dig deep into his life and figure out like what he does on a daily basis, there's no program.
Right.
With majority,
Hold on. Guys like him, shout out to Rickster, because he watches us and he supports the show, so shout out to him. But honestly, bro, at the same time, I want you guys to know that if you watch us and you don't actually use what the fuck we say and apply it to your life and improve your life, get the fuck out of here. Don't fucking watch me. Don't watch me. I'm speaking for myself, because I know it's a business. I don't want to fuck up anybody else's business. But me personally, I don't do this for the fucking numbers, bro. If you're watching me and you're not changing your life, anything I've said hadn't really made you get up and do some extra shit to make a difference in your life, then leave me the fuck alone, bro. Leave me alone. Get the fuck out of here. All of you victims, I don't need you over here. Really. All you victims, overthinkers, and all you guys that are just stuck, this ain't the place for you. Right? You're looking for somebody to hold you by the hand, give you a fucking hug, and to come to your house and wake you up and say, hey, man, make your bed, brush your teeth, do some push-ups, go to work, do this, talk to a couple of girls on your way home, this, that, and the third. You want me to come fucking do it for you. This is not the place, bro. This ain't the place. You could click off right now, okay? But what I'll say is guys like Richter is the type of guy who they do, like you heard him, he talking about, well, you know, I'm trying to invest on the stock market. There are people out there who love to do a lot of busy work and disguise it as progress when there's still just stagnation. They do shit that they claim is improving their life. Richter's problem is not money, so he doesn't even need to be investing in the fucking stock market. Richter's problem is his fucking mindset. So he needs to be investing in changing his mindset, but he doesn't want to do that because that would take actual work. How much work does it take to put money in stocks? It's probably a click of a button on his fucking phone. Huh? But if I'm investing and I'm getting more money, then that'll put me in position so I can start to invest in myself as far as, no, motherfucker. Take the money directly to the coaching. And stop doing distraction work to make you feel as if you're making progress when you're just spinning in circles. Go ahead, Zach.
No, see, what Richter revealed when he admitted that he was on Miles's Masculine Identity membership.com, by the way, y'all. When he admitted that he was only there for the 99-cent sell, what he is essentially saying is, I don't see the value in myself. I'm only worth 99 cents. The moment the price goes up, that's too expensive for me to pay because I don't see that I'm worthy of anything more than that.
Exactly.
So I'm going to do the bare minimum to try and get the maximum out of my life. Life doesn't work that way. So
what you put in is what you get out.
Well, he knew it was going to be a waste of money for him because he wasn't going to do none of that work.
He wasn't going to do nothing.
And that's the thing. Like, you know, hey, you're financially savvy. Yeah, you're financially savvy. Anybody looking at the stock market, you got some money to invest. And so you're making money decisions. And what he realized was, I'm not going to do none of the work, you know, to put whatever the rest of the money was for it. And I think that it's really sad to be at the cusp of knowledge, understanding, and what you need to do, and then you don't have the drive to bring it home. I won't never understand that. You know what to do. You've thought about it. You realize, you know, one of the biggest awakening is for people to realize, hey, I'm the problem, right? I'm the one that's messing things up. So you already took that step. You found some people that you kind of agree with because you've been searching online. You've seen the red pill. I don't know what that is. I've never seen any of their discussions or anything like that. But you were looking at that, and then you found something else that resonates a little bit more with you. That you can say, you know what? I think this is better because this other thing is making me feel a certain way. This is making me feel a little bit better. They got programs. Let me just stop here because I'm not going to do any other work.
Facts.
No, Richter, he's like a lot of guys. He's like a game squatter. Okay, what I mean by game squatter, he want to post up on some of these channels and listen to a bunch of shit, but he don't want to do the work to actually become the very thing that we're teaching guys about.
Right.
Because it requires some level of self-sacrifice. It requires that, and he don't want to do that, right? And I guarantee you, if you want to look at his bank account statements, he got OnlyFans. I promise you he does. I promise you right now.
Money on bullshit.
Or he spends the money. But caller, I'm sorry. We took the conversation away from me, bro. You were getting to a point, or you just wanted to talk about how these women got these planners and these set schedules and shit, and how important having a program is.
That part, but then also like this next part, right? Like these, like more like the average dude can't dream big. They have like these like small little goals where like their favorite word to use is trying or sometimes, right? Like that's their favorite words. Trying, I'm trying, right? Like I'm trying to get into the stock market, or sometimes I do this, right? So like last thing I'll say, like my ex-girl, right? She one time when we were dating, right? She told me like she wants to be a model, right? Typical girl, whatever. All women want to be models. She wasn't trying to be a model. She, like, out of nowhere, I'm seeing her on my Instagram Explore page, on Vogue, on like these magazines. And I'm like, see, that's the shit I'm talking about. These women, when they have a goal that they want to reach, a dream that they want to fulfill, they just do it. Like, that becomes part of their program. They don't try. They don't, sometimes they go to shoots. Like, it's like they're either all in or all out. There is no 90%. So when the last dude said, like, what level are you operating at, right? If 100% doesn't come out of your mouth, like that second that you ask that question, you ain't doing it. You ain't doing nothing with your life.
Exactly.
Like, if the answer is not 100% and you say it like at the drop of a hat, you ain't doing nothing, and you're probably never gonna do nothing with your life. That's all I wanted to say.
Facts.
All right, appreciate that.
I appreciate it, Colin. Take it easy, bro.
Yeah, appreciate y'all.
All right.
Yeah, y'all too.
I'm sitting here.
Yeah, we're
I
gonna
would like to say there's a big difference between a program for an educational thing or your personal life and having a program in a relationship. Okay. What he was describing was just being responsible about time. Okay?
Right.
And that can be a certain part of your program if that's how you live, right? But having a program for yourself and your relationship is vastly different than just being responsible with time.
Right. Right.
So Unique 79 with the 50, he says, to feed what off J. Roman said in regards to what you have gained, you gain no regret because you did what you wanted to do. You got what you wanted regardless of the outcome, which is going after what you wanted in the first place, and you did it. Now, let me say this about the last caller. He was talking about the young lady wanting to be a model, and she achieved it. You know, Fabulous in the Rap one time said, and I might misquote him. He said his plan B is to make sure his plan A doesn't fail, or some shit like that. Right. And B is like, and for you to even have that type of mindset, number one, you have to believe in yourself. Okay? You have to believe in yourself, and you have to believe not only do you have what it takes to succeed, but you have to have the discipline to make it come to fruition. Unfortunately, some guys are cool with just paying for pussy their whole life, or they cool to jacking off to images of women. And they cool with that. Now, if there's nothing wrong with, on the surface, there's nothing wrong with porn. Let me get that out the way, right? But if you allow the watching of porn to stagnate you to the point where you don't even go out and talk to women, that's a problem. And to me, that's a lowly existence. Y'all got it.
Facts.
I was just gonna say that.
I was gonna say if we could get to questions and then kind of wrap. Cause we don't.
We got a couple questions there from Dan
Right,
and Wise.
So it's okay. This one, you have to get to this one. Even when I'm nervous, I still approach women regardless of my emotions.
Yes.
What kind of emotions are you feeling? I mean,
Nervousness.
My stomach is
The
queasy.
only way to not be nervous about doing anything that's new is to keep doing it until you're conditioned to it, and then it's not a big deal.
Keep doing it. Exactly.
Like every skydiver was nervous the first time they jumped out of a plane. After 20, 30 jumps, you're like eating a sandwich on the way down.
Facts.
There you go. So he says, why do I feel myself going backwards when I'm not learning it? Yo, man, y'all need to call in. Like, we don't know what the fuck.
Well, it's funny because they answer the question for themselves in the question. Why do I feel myself going backwards when not learning game? Because you're not learning game.
There you go.
You just said it. You're not learning game. That's why you're going backwards.
There you go. I think you jumped in. Should I do something concrete if she does not perform a certain sexual act? Y'all motherfuckers, bro. Okay, hold on. But I want this act for myself. What can I tell it to influencer? Bro, you are literally treating it like a sexual transaction. If you do this thing for me sexually, I'll do this thing for you non-sexually. Bro, you don't reward no woman because she sucked your dick.
No, he's saying he wants to be able to influence her mind so that he can get what he wants. Okay. So that means your want is leading you. You're not in control of your desires or your impulses. So therefore you're trying to change her into something that you can basically masturbate with. Right? You're way off kilter, man. And it's like verging on creepiness.
There you go. There you go. That's your question. So he says, how much cologne should I have on going out versus having her come over to my place? Yo, man, y'all grown man asking these fucking questions. Y'all want to answer that shit, man?
Well, yeah, everyone's gonna be different. Like I've known guys who they spray it in the air and then they walk into it because they don't like a strong smell. Okay. Right. First of all, I'd say learn the difference between what a eau de cologne is, what eau de toilette is. There's 4 or 5 different versions, and it depends on the amount of oil that's used, like the concentration of oil. So I think there's 4 or 5 different versions of that, and in varying degrees of lightness to a heavy odor. Okay, right. That stays with you for a long time or evaporates quick. All right. What I do is 4, right, on either side of my neck and on each wrist. Well, one wrist, and then I just kind of rub it together. That's what I like to do. Mm-hmm. I'd also advise having at least, at the very minimum, 4 different types of colognes, 1 for each season. Okay, don't wear some summery, fresh feeling light cologne in the fucking dead of winter. Okay, the dead of winter should be like a darker, heavier, more masculine, sort of slower smell, right? And then the spring, summer, fall, they all have the different attitudes. Have at least 4 different ones. This is what I do, but just wear however much you like to wear, whether she's coming over or you're going out, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I didn't know there was a difference in how much.
Yeah, that's a weird question.
I didn't think there was a difference. I mean, you putting on cologne and you have a routine of how you, and this is what I'm talking about. Guys don't even have a routine of how they like to put on cologne. Yeah. You understand? Is everybody just flying by the seat of their pants when it comes to life? Is that really what y'all doing out here? Life is just moving. I just I don't know how to do anything. I don't know how to put on cologne. I don't know what to eat. I don't know how to talk to girls. I don't know how to dress. This is what's really going on. Come on, guys. Pick something and don't be afraid to pick it. Because that's a big problem too. You guys, you care so much what people think. You're afraid to choose something and just go with it.
Yeah, come
on, man.
If I put on cologne, the last thing I'm thinking about is what the bitch is gonna think. You know what I'm saying? Do you got on too much? You don't got on enough? I'm not worried about all that shit. It ain't that serious. But I will say this to you guys. If you guys are overly concerned with that, buy yourself the little gift package that has the little fucking body wash, the aftershave, the little deodorant. That way you hit all the spots. You know what I'm saying? Your underarms smell good. You done wash the balls with the shit. Do that. There you have it. Thank me later. Goddamn it.
I would say don't come out the door and spray cologne masking a unwashed body. I'm assuming that it's part of your regiment before you go out or invite her over, and that shower is part of that. As far as over the house, I mean, to me, I think people overthink this stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, the whole thing is you want a comfortable place for yourself. I'm a very clean person, so I have different scents in the house going on. That's what I like. If I want to smell a certain way, I smell that way, either a spray or a cologne. I don't debate about, the seasoning. I'm learning something here, Justin, with the season and the cologne. I find out what smells good on me, what I like, and that's what I rock with. Not everything smells good with everybody's body chemistry.
No, they don't.
So you got to figure that out, and hopefully you got some friends around you to be like, hey man, that cologne ain't rocking with you, brother.
Right.
Here's some game for that real quick, because you're right, Jay. You could recommend a cologne that doesn't vibe with my chemistry, and it smells like shit, but it smells great on you. Go on eBay, guys, and you can get samples. There's stores on eBay where you can get 1 ounce to 3 ounce samples of tons of cologne, and they're only a few dollars each. Right, and they range from $5 upwards to $10, but you can get tons of samples, and you're not going to waste your money on a $200 bottle of cologne. You get it, you're like, oh, this kind of sucks, right? So you can test out a bunch of samples and then find out what you like, then get the big bottle, or just stick with small ones, if you just like to change it up and experiment.
And I'll say this as well, when it comes to cologne and personal hygiene, again, be confident in your choice. Love what you like. I'm going to say that again. Love what you like. A lot of guys You still don't get it. We tell you every fucking day, the game is about you. Listen, wear the cologne that you enjoy the scent. If a woman gives you a compliment, that's just icing on the cake. Don't wear the cologne for the compliment. Wear the cologne because you like how it smells. Wear the cologne because that's how you want to show up in the room. I want to smell like this. I want to look like this. I want to dress like this. If somebody says, damn, man, you look sharp, you smell good too, that's just whatever. And if somebody, even if somebody says, I don't like your outfit and you smell like shit, it doesn't matter. Don't do anything. Don't worry about the compliments and don't worry about the insults. Live your life for you. That is the thing. Because guess what? You will attract the people who are on your wavelength. The problem with so many guys is that they're afraid to choose a wavelength. They're afraid to say, this is my wavelength, and then live in that wavelength. Because they want to try to get on everybody's wavelength. They want everybody to like them. That is not the way to live your fucking life. You will never make any progress that way. Do things because you enjoy it. And then the people that are on that type of time will find you. That's what it's really all about.
Yeah, like right now, I like a fabric softener. Did you know they have fabric softener oil now? And when you walk in a room, I find the domesticated women really quick because they're like, "Woo, your clothes smell really good."
You smell like Downy? You smell
No,
like
no. Man, they got these oils that you put in your last rinse or your fabric softener, and it stays longer.
Wow.
And, when I tell you that I got clothes that's been in my closet right now for a month, when I pull it out, my partner at work was the first one because he was like, man, I ain't gonna lie, man. I don't know what you wash your clothes with, but it smells good. Like every time I go to the locker room, it smells really good. And I'll say, oh yeah, that's my new little fabric softener. And it's an oil because oils stay longer and they, perfume a lot more scent. Right. And you put that thing in there, boy. I'm telling you, man.
On the last rinse, how do you put it in on the last rinse?
So you just squeeze like a little couple squirts on like when you do your Downy, like the fabric softener container itself.
The little compartment for the softener. Oh, nice.
And that part. So you put a little of the fabric softener, you squirt that in there, and boom! I'm talking about your clothes smell great.
I learned something new today.
I'll send y'all the link. I got it from my sister when I went down to Arizona to visit her. She hooked me up because I was sitting in some sheets. And I was like, God damn, it's the comfort of the smell alone. And I said, I wash my clothes with a lot of fabric softener because I like that smell, but it's just lasted. The 3 days I was here was lasting.
I thought,
like, oh yeah, I got this odor.
That's dope.
I'll give you a little bit. And I said, no, where'd you get it? She's like, oh, I don't know if I want to tell you yet. It's my sister. She wants to tease me a little bit. Hold off. That's what siblings do.
Yeah.
But she hooked me up. So yeah, man, I'm telling you.
That's dope.
Let me find out you out here dabbing gain like this.
I do spray it on my clothes. I mix it up with some water and I spray it on my clothes, my jackets, things I'm not going to throw on the wash every day, but I spray it and fresh it up. And when I tell you, man, it's noticeable. It's noticeable.
I'm gonna tell you that really works because I'm big on fabric softener, especially for my socks and my drawers. That's gonna be closest to your body when you disrobing for a bitch, right? It's your draw. You don't want your drawers coming off and it smell like musty nutsack in them. You know what I'm saying? So if it smell like some Downy, you know what I'm saying? That might work. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Hey, I wanna rewind just for a little bit. I noticed that in the chat, fucking Dan got all tight. And to his question, I need to address something. All right. So it's sort of like wanting certain sexual acts. The reason why there's not really a concrete thing, all right, is because if it's within the realm of, say, normal, right, where let's say you want her to ride you, all right, you just tell her what to do.
Right.
All right. There's other things that require much more consent or training. Okay, so if whatever he wants, because that's why it's really specific, like we got to know what it is he wants. If he's like, I want it down to the hilt, sloppy throating, that can't happen off the fly. That actually requires training. Okay, And if she hasn't been trained to do this sort of thing, and she's reluctant to do it, you're not going to get what you want, because it requires consistent training to get that to happen, right? Or any other, like, you know, adventurous sexual act. All right. So if it's somewhat, you know, benign and normal, you just tell them, say, hey, you do this, do it like this. This is how I like it, or whatever. But if it's a little bit edging into the more extreme or into the extreme end of things, you can't just say do this, because that's violating their consent, and they may not even be trained or accustomed to any of that sort of stuff.
Right.
You have it.
To get that out there.
All right.
All right, gentlemen. So in closing, y'all want to plug anything before we get up out of here?
Yeah, man. As always, you know, holla at me on Instagram. Miles in the Game on Instagram. Miles in the Game on Instagram. Make sure y'all get the soap, man. Make sure y'all get the soap, and holla at the masculineidentitymembership.com and the badboymembership.com. Appreciate the panel. Appreciate the callers. Appreciate the chat. Thank you very much.
Mr. Justin, you got anything?
Yeah. Just, you know, the new website, thedominancecademy.com. Check it out. We've got 3 awesome tiers. One's just all video. The next is video documentation, and you get 2 calls with me per month. And then the last tier is just the full flagship program, you know, and it's a full-on commitment of 12 months.
Jay Roman, you got anything you want to plug? I know you and 50 are doing that cigar joint.
Yeah. On me and 50 on Mondays, we're doing a cigar lounge, which is basically Mackin' Mondays, talking to individuals that want to call in and talk about this thing game. And also, of course, I'm going to plug the show for tomorrow. You know, that these gentlemen, or well, some of these gentlemen are on, you know, Real Game, No Theory. Always catch it. It's always entertaining for me.
Yep.
And if anybody wants to contact me, it's at Gmail, J Roman Way, Jay Roman Way. At Gmail, I respond to my emails right now. If you want to have a discussion on there. Besides that, Zag, always appreciative to have me on the show, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, gentlemen.
Not a problem. I appreciate all y'all coming through. Dope show. In my opinion, very informative for a lot of men who actually want to learn some shit. And again, gentlemen, men are not victims in the dating game. You're not a victim. And if you were a victim, then you created your own victimhood because of your poor choices and your lack of self-respect. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to point that out. Y'all have a great day. We see y'all tomorrow. Peace.